Let's get it. Let's get it. get it.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2021, the Nepal region. And well, it's the final day as we have the teams from Group B and D going against each other. And everyone has one motive right now just to qualify for the regional finals because only 10 teams, ladies and gentlemen, the top 10 teams will be qualifying for the next round because we have got six invited teams coming in for you. So, what are your thoughts about that, Necro? Yeah, of course. I mean, they have already proven the medal last time around in the PMCOs and PMPL, as a result of which they've earned themselves these coveted invited slots. But yes, the regional finals are there. But what's after that? That's the PMPL we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Because this time around, of course, we do have a dedicated region from Nepal, and only three teams will be qualifying onwards. And you've got Zeus, who's come in from the GC. Then from the last PMPL, we've got quite some interesting teams over there. So it's going to be really intense. Yeah, of course. And talking about those invited teams, a lot of you might have your thoughts as to who are they. So let me just read it out for you guys. It's going to be PWP Esports. We've got Elementrix. We've got Shy and Mara. We've got also PN Crew coming in, High Voltage, and then we have Ruthless Aggressive Warriors. So all these teams are going to be participating for those coveted three slots that we did talk about. And yeah, a lot is on the line, the moolah, the prize money as well. So today is the final day where a lot of teams, if you're talking about B and D, I'm looking forward to Team Cops. So this is one of the teams that has been really playing promising. But let's take a look at the prize pool and see what's on the line. And yeah, moving. Yeah, go on. Yeah, of course. I mean, no second thoughts on that. Considering the fact, it's not 16 teams going, it's those top 10 teams. So the competition has even become more intense. Now, teams from groups A and C, they're done with all their matches. They're just going to sit on the sidelines and watch it and, have their prayers on because today we are finally going to get our top 16 teams. Like I mentioned, the 16 included with the ones invited. So only the top teams from these overall standings will of course qualify. And how do they do that? They need to get those points running in their favor. They need to bank on those points. So ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the points distribution system over here. And it's pretty much standard. There you go, Bree and D. We did see the players of Team Cop, so we've got a lot of rooting in for them, and this is one of those promising teams that we need to watch out for. But moving along further, we've got Too Much Hype. Again, a team that comes with those big names has certainly not been making their mark in the PMCO so far. But today is a day of comeback. Today is the day of belief. We are dreamers. So let's see how are they going to play it out along with Ekta, who kind of solidified the lead. But TTP, this is also one of those teams that I'm talking about, needs to step up really big time. Yeah, I mean, considering the competition has gone way tougher because just the 10 teams are going to qualify, so it makes things really interesting as we take a look at the overall standing. So, Carnage, Vibes, Dreamhackers, they've all established or all solidified the spot for the regional finals. But today we'll be, of course, having our eyes out on the Ekta. How are they going to perform? Are they going to go aggressive? What are your take on that? Yeah, of course. And moving on forward, we have Team Extreme, TDP, the likes of which are certainly not in a position where they would have really thought. And if you talk about miserable things, look at Too Much Hype. They are struggling. But we have seen this in the Bangladeshi region. Few teams that were initially in those 24, 25 mark, they suddenly, just on the virtue of their good performance, have somehow managed to make it and qualify for the regional finals. But as we move along further, so Too Much Hype. This is one of those teams that I definitely need to keep my eyes out for. And apart from them, who else do you think has got it in them that they can just make their way into the top 10? They certainly do get, and they've been having a trouble lately with the rotations. And the same problem is with the majority of the Nepali teams, and that's because of the huge traffic that we have in those final circles. But as we take a look at the schedule, we've got it pretty standard over here. It's Erangel, Sanhok, Miramar, and also again we end things in Erangel. So 4 matches, a lot to prove, a lot of teams on the line. So this is going to be a banger of a day considering everyone has their eyes on those PMPL slots. But before that, they need to qualify for the regional finals. It's one step at a time. So before we head into Erangel, from the teams we just saw, who do you think is going to walk off with the chicken in this one? I think I'm a dreamer right now. I'm gonna say that maybe Team Extreme might just back this win home, considering the fact that they've got the potential. They've been in this kind of a situation before. So in those last days, when you need to qualify, it all comes down to how you deal with the pressure. But well, moving on, we've got the flight path trajectory, not the right kind of one to start things off for the players. Of course, we love chaos, we love action right off the bat, but players certainly are going to be thinking right now, where do we go? What do we do? Because this kind of flight path just sets them off, unless and until it's a certain circle. Oh, absolutely. Now TDP, well, not the kind of a start that they would have anticipated for themselves, as IR2 in a whole world of trouble as he's been caught off guard. So his teammate does chime in and will definitely want to pick him up, and that's Gangster. And well, a gangster movement is being made over there. But yeah, somehow, Blood not really getting their hands on that first blood. And they would just back off. So we've seen the flight path trajectory on multiple occasions in Erangel going through one particular direction, but the circle completely going off the charts. So this time it's a northern circle, a lot of possibilities. Let's see how these teams perform. So right now, moving on forward with the games, I believe we've got some small talk technical glitches that we have, and we'll have to see as to how we have to see how these teams perform. So taking a look at Mandala, so let's see what is going on and about. So now getting back to the game that we have in hand over here. So it's Mandala's rig to traverse around a lot of teams going in for those early rotations. So the players now over here, 4 men strong, Team Extreme, right beside them. So I would love to see what really happens. Anything in this fight can happen. So Kazi, and I guess so. Maybe, maybe. Uh, the teams will be back on. I'm kind of getting some audio glitches, which I hope would get fixed pretty soon, and we apologize, of course, for that. And the Prash, so he's got that AK. He's got. Let's see what he's got to offer. But moving on, I think it's Kazi. I think it's Kazi who's trying to make those plays happen for his team and Team Extreme. They've got a lot on line, right? They've got a lot in line, and how are they going to perform? Because
Mic check.
now they've got to be careful about it, and well, we'll just let the game simmer.
Indeed, it seems like I am back. We're really sorry for the inconvenience coming in. Seems like there were some technical glitches, but now if we take a look in the game over here for MS, definitely one of the teams that have been showing up so much in the past. But now, what is going to be happening in the fight? How are they going to be coming out on top? It's definitely going to be interesting. Now, one of the demon having a nade inside his hand, definitely a lot much more risky thing to do in fights like these. But also at the same time, does capitalize on one of their position. It's going to be the French.
So right now, if you talk about the first plot, there you go, Demon coming out on top. So now we've got to see, 4MS already getting that heavy bashing right off the bat. So let's see as to Team Extreme did, of course, have a good start. And like we mentioned, we're having some issues which will be, of course, sorted out. And now the players of Cops. So they're kind of traversing around the map. They've taken a very, very lateral, drop, as from what we can see. They did land off at Novo Ripnoi. They're searching for those extra vehicles for them so that they just could have a good time. They did find a three-seater bike though, but I'm really skeptic about it. This is the kind of a bike that is not really the suitable one in competitive lobbies as such. So now I believe Necro is finally back. So yeah, take it on.
Indeed, yeah, I am back, but yeah, I don't really know what's going on here. But just take a look at Ikta too. Now, this team is definitely one of the teams that Fixes had his eyes on, and he did ask me some questions before the early on in the game. But I mean, yeah, it's Ikta might be the one, of course. Yeah, they are in the top seven as well. But I mean, yesterday and like just overall the games that were going on, Ikta seems kind of fading away. You know, they weren't really able to perform that consistent as they were in those early days.
Yeah, certainly. And now Ekta is not gonna have a lot of pressure on them. We've seen now the boys, especially Paragot, stepping it up, and even the other players as well. They're very promising. Now, Cinema Gaming, they've had their days. They're doing fairly well. They still have a chance to make that comeback. We just gotta see as to how they are going to perform in this one out. Fact, well, just that one chicken. Apart from that, nothing really surprising from them, and I hope so that they step up big time in this one, and maybe try to pull off a comeback.
Of course, it's going to be such an interesting thing to see. But as you mentioned, there are only 10 teams that are going to be securing their slots in the finals. But now, which teams are going to be the one? This is going to be so interesting to see as well. But the competition has just multiplied by 2 as well because only 10 teams, not 16 anymore, because 6 has already been invited, as you mentioned in the past. But as we take a look in the game as well, there have been one elimination already went down. And whatever team it was, it's going to be such a massive disappointment for them.
Yeah, of course. Now, if you talk about the players of Delta M4, it's Clown that we have got over here. And well, they've taken that higher ground, right? They've taken that higher ground, and they're trying to scour for information. Extra information is always handy. Now, KWIN Esports, they've got the likes of Hadron, another player which I've been looking out for right from season one. He's been playing competitive. I went against him. So he's one of those players, who is always there. You can always rely on him in terms of experience. But it's kind of a fairly new squad that they've built up. They've got even Kanzi. So a lot of players are there who've got that experience, who've got that positional advantage. And now we'll have to see how they perform, because if they do not do today, then they're basically doomed.
Indeed, they are basically doomed. As we mentioned before, this is the last day they have left, and they have to try their best. They have to give their best. Just playing like anything wouldn't be anything. You will have to try your best to get those francs in your pockets, and just try to fulfill your stomach as much as you can. But now, just take a look at a hype over here, scoping the compound out right in front of them. Seems like they do have a little bit of info on the people that are inside.
Absolutely. Now we've got the players of too much hype. So we did see their, that main team, or in fact the main lineup as we call it, hype, making an astounding performance yesterday, and getting back with those beautiful, beautiful plays and ending things on that chicken dinner. So now they've pretty much solidified their position. They had started off in a fairly bad manner, not really having the game of their lives in Erangel. But of course, as we move on further towards Sanhok Miramar and the last game of Erangel, they pick themselves very well. So too much hype would definitely want to be taking some pointers out from how they handle the pressure situation, because now we can see the circle going all the way towards the northern side. So the players of Delta M4 now I think they've spotted down the players of Team Fang, and they're peppering down a few bullets. And you can see those splash of teams coming in from the eastern side. But that's where teams like Ekta really thrive, having that northwestern Georgia Paul compound. And as we speak, the first airdrop coming in, M249.
Exactly, M249. Who doesn't want this gun with that Big Mac coming in? Also, 100 bullets just storing inside it. But if we take a look at one of the teams there, one of the teams was doing such a late rotation inside the circle, which is definitely going to be such a disappointing if they actually get caught off guard. But now just take a look inside this fight over here. FN Deku inside a heavy fire, while also taking a look at one of the FN members has been taken down as well. Now, this fight is definitely favoring more kind of like the enemy team here, but FN also trying their best, getting one knockdown in their favor as well, but seems like TDP is not going to be backing off anytime soon.
Yeah, but right now the fight is back on. You can see Onyx peppering down those bullets against the players of TDP as Shagar. This is a huge knock that he goes down. Anik trying to finish him off. Yes, he succeeds. And this is going to be a huge blow for TDP as they're already one player short.
Indeed, they are one player shot, but the same goes with FN as well. But now, which team is going to be coming out on top? It's definitely going to be interesting to see. While Deku taking such a critical fire, and also he is down to such a low HP as well. Now, Deku spotting one of the TDP players down, but not going to be able to do much damage. But as we take a look, another FN member from the backline going to be shutting completely one of the TDP members down who accidentally showed himself in the window. Now, it's all down to one last member of TDP. How is FN going to be taking these situations in their hand? The res is coming through. Are they going to be able to get the res successfully done, though?
That we have to see. But right now, the players of Team Flex Nation, they've got a good start. Anik, he will of course get that revive. But TDP, actually, they are really committing in for this fight. And this is quite an interesting situation because these are not the compounds that you would like to hold for yourself, and already losing out on Shagar. And now Vipul with that beautiful AK spray taking down. But Gangster will of course trade it off as Anik pushes in tandem along with Deku as he goes down. And this is absolute mayhem that we're having because Gangster, he does not look like to be stopping anytime soon.
Of course, what a obliterative performance coming in from TDP. We definitely did not expect for them to survive this long, as the situation was so critical when it comes to their part. Gangsta barely surviving, also making it through the staircase. How is this possible? How is this man still alive? What is going on, Gangsta? You absolute beast! Gangsta just walks right in front of him, and that's gonna be the end.
Oh my
For
goodness. Oh my
oh
goodness,
my God,
Necro.
Gangsta! What did I just witness?
He went full gangster mode. That is it. The kind of a play, he waited. He waited. He did not really go towards reviving his teammate IR2. He rather waited for his time to come. And once it did, he just held them off at the doors. And he was so prolific with those AK-4M sprays coming in. And yeah, at the end, he had the momentum shifting in his favor. And Flex Nation go falling down.
Indeed, what a jump coming in from that window. When he jumped below the window, this is when that was completely over because one of the enemy teams was actually sticking the res and he was the last man standing. So while he was doing the res, it's definitely going to be impossible for him to shoot instantly. He will have to pull the gun out and then he would shoot. And this is when the gangster got that win in his hand in that fight.
The second airdrop coming in, of course, in that slight distributaries of water that we have. And it's coming with an 8 times. It's going to be pretty interesting if the teams are actually going to contest. But now what they have to really worry about is trying to find a good spot in the circle. Now, this is a northern circle that we are witnessing, not a lot of which we have seen. Of course, during the World League, we did get to see a lot of circles around those shooting range, and that's where teams like BTR really thrive. So we've got to see if these Nepali teams are actually well prepared to handle this, because after that, revamp we've seen on Erangel, the 2.0 is what I'm talking about. A lot of riches were changed here and there. So you need to adjust, you need to adapt. Let's see if these teams have actually managed to do so.
Indeed, I mean it's definitely going to be harder for them to adapt as well because with time, I'm pretty sure these teams will get used to the situations that they are thrown in between. But just take a look at over here, Kag is peppering down a little bit of bullets, just showering the bullets. Oh my God, taking heavy damage. Jabugu going down as well.
And there you go. There you go. All right. So Genius, he's been knocked out. And well, Team Fang not really having the kind of a start that they would have wanted, but Team Extreme securing that first kill early on would obviously want to get another. Now, Team Blood, they are in a very precarious position because they're right out in the open, just those soft covers from those smokes coming out. With the way Team Too Much High plays, I think they might just want to capitalize and try to get some kills for themselves.
Indeed, of course, who wouldn't want to get those kills because kills means points. And as we also take a look at Hype Noob there, he is just playing around the edges. He doesn't really want to commit to the fight completely, but also at the same time, he is keeping an eye on the rotation that will be making by Team BO there. But also take a look at the captain. He is peppering down a little bit of bullets from the back lines, is from far away. Not going to be able to manage to shoot anyone or connect any bullets onto anyone, but he is definitely going to be managed to scare them away for a while.
He certainly will. And now, well, Team Too Much Hype. This was the time where they could have really capitalized on the situation. But I think they kind of restricted their movement because we got another squad just watching them off. Just on the eastern side. Now, Team Hype playing on those low ridges. It's going to be a bit of a trouble for them to really capitalize. But look at the shift, Necro. This match is going bonkers.
Indeed, the shift. I mean, of course, yeah, it is in the middle, but also at the same time, it's going to be so hard. Like, there's literally one team inside the circle, and it's just going to be saying now, all these team outs over here, they will have to get inside their cars. And as I'm talking, just take a look at the minimap. Every single team has their car equipped, and as we keep on talking, Team FANG has been completely eliminated. What a massive destruction coming in. Now, at the same time, all the teams that are trying to rotate into that circle are going to be taking heavy damage and are going to be taking heavy bullets, but also at the same time, yeah, they do have those cards for the covers, but it's not going to be working out for as long as possible.
Yeah, I mean, after this beautiful knockout, I guess Team Mandala, they're going to be in a whole world of trouble as Team Too Much High finally have the room to enter inside the circle. Now, this Team Mandala over here, they did manage to position themselves, but they were kind of oblivious or in the dark about the fact that there was too much hype right above them. So now this is the time where they can actually enter inside the circle without really being worried. But, well, Bloody Sports, you've been taking a few
KWIN.
shots over here. Yeah, and that's KWIN also getting that early elimination. What is happening?
Indeed, there's just like so many situations that is actually not even able to know what is exactly happening on the screens because KWIN, one of the big teams, also getting eliminated early off. That's such a massive disappointment coming in from KWIN there. They do need to try their best and just play well overall because this is the last day. This kind of eliminations won't work out, KWIN. You will have to try your best while we also take a look at Bio Baza over here, showering down a little bit of bullets on the cars that are upcoming or incoming inside the circle. Not going to be able to connect any shots though, but also just take a look at the fight that is going on in front of her. Genzi Boy trying to capitalize on the situation, just trying to scout out the area, trying to spot anyone nearby. Doesn't really seem like he's going to be finding anyone though, but Mandala is in such a massive disappointment. It's such a massive discover. Like, just take a look at that. They are just in such a massive bonkers right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of in a pickle over here because they're not really having the entry properly. So Mr. Five still surviving, but for how long? That's the bigger question. Captain already losing out on his life. New barely surviving by the Whiskers. And they've been spotted by Delta M4, and we know these lads are really good with their aim. If they spot somebody out in the open, they're going to take them down. But Baza, all right, so car whizzed past by. He did take some shots, but right now he's in the open. Yuban taking a few shots here with his M4, but not really connecting.
Indeed, not really Cullington, but also just take a look at Baza getting shot from the back lines, also getting flanked. But now, over here, all these teams are in such a bad position over here. They are getting compromised from all the angles. Noob going to be peppering down a little bit of bullets. Also, at the same time, he's going to be the one to contest all these squads that are in front of him. And in front of him is just an absolute open ground. So he might just be getting a free ways to 4 kills just to feed his stomach.
Squads are being obliterated one after the other. Players are going down. This circle is pure madness as we are finally approaching the 5th circle, which might start anytime soon. But Team Corps are really being on those shorelines over there just by the river. And we've got to see, how are they going to really approach this one out. But Team Blood, so they've spotted too much hype. Now Noob has revealed himself. He's taken some damage, but not gonna hurt him enough. But this is where Yubin should have really capitalized. But well, Team Blood, every single player is just looking at Team Too Much Hype. They are kind of leaving their backlines open.
Indeed, they are leaving the backlines open, but at the same time, take a look at their support player throwing a smoke on the backlines just to secure that cover, just to secure the extra bit of cover. But now, DM4 is going to be on the one who are going to be trying to contest them from the behind. And as we take a look, there are some nades being thrown from all across the way. Taking a little bit of damage, Nemo, but also secure and safe behind that tree. At the same time, just take a look at Baza moving completely outside from the cover. I don't really know if that's a good choice to come in here, but also at the same time, they are able to secure a knock for them.
Yeah, of course. And with that being said, Team Blood Esports bow out of this game. But wow, Team Cops, they are stepping up big this time. Considering the fact that they need to solidify their position, they are doing so well. Now, Team Too Much Hype, they're making their move. They've got 3 players. Blood Esports, like we mentioned, are already out of the equation. Teams are falling one after the other like a stack of dominoes. And Cinema Arts Gaming, they are trying to cover their backlines. But look at the shift of the circle. Look at Instinct just going ham onto its the players of Team Hype. And suddenly, Team Hypes are losing out on numbers and delaying so much of the rotation. They're in a whole world of trouble because they have to deal with multiple teams and they're doing a decent fair job, but still taking so much damage. It's all gonna come down to Noob as to how he carries these fights on.
Of course, it's going to be coming down to Noob, but also at the same time sticking the res onto Divine. Seems like he's going to be getting that res up as well. But now, take a look at Too High over here. He is in such a bad situation or such a bad cover over here because that Jeep can might just blow away anytime. That's
Yeah.
not going to be mean of cover for him for all the time. He needs to back out a little bit, or he needs to either blast it by himself. Because if any other team decides to blast it off for him, it's definitely going to be such a massive problem for him. But now take a look at MR5 here. He is just mounted inside the car underwater. How long is he going to be able to stick in there, though?
You know, that's a bigger question because he's on the pilot driver's seat and he's got the ability to shoot. But right now, instinct, oh my goodness, he did try, but it was Mr. Spy with that arm taking him down. Will, of course, get stolen by Noob from the backlines. It's absolute pandemonium. It's absolute mayhem as teams are going after each other. And Team Ekta in a bit of a situation as now Augie has to retreat. He needs to get those rays back on with his teammate, which very minimal time remaining. Can he do that? Look at Divine. He is making these plays happen. We have seen that in the past, and we did see the players over there. That steel shot that did manage to pull that one off, and he was the inventor. And now the teams are making it better, but being
there we go.
spotted over there. Divine falling out, and too much hype, taking an elimination. But with 7 kills, that's a good thing.
Of course, I mean, but finally that nade going to be putting an end to all the mayhem that has been caused by too much hype there. But now, take a look at CAC Too High over here. Beautiful stuff coming in from him. He has completely eliminated the squad of Mandala, but Mandala only managed to secure 1 kill. Mandala hasn't really been able to show up anything, but take a look at Cops Rana to Blaster. That man is just on the edge of the zone. And what if his position gets compromised? That would such be disappointment for him.
That certainly would be, but look at Ron Blaster, like you mentioned, he's trying to get in, but this is where Maski comes out for his team. He's providing that very quintessential cover fire that is much needed. But Team Ekta somehow have managed to get the players back on. At least that one player, Nowachi, is going to help the cause. And as they are just pushing in, we gotta see against RGR how are they gonna face off. And that was a beautiful, beautiful crossfire set up between the players, trying to even out the numbers as RGR needs to get in the zone, or are they going to fight? Only time is gonna tell.
Of course, the only time is going to tell, but also one of the big teams is still surviving and actually dominating the late game field. It's going to be Aetha, one of the teams that Fixers absolutely love to watch all the time. But now, also take a look at the eliminations that are happening. There are so many teams being eliminated, such an obliterative performance coming in from each and every single team. Now, Aetha making a unique kind of rotation inside the circle over here. They are using the waterways, of course, but they just took their car and just jumped inside the water. But now, as soon as they decide to actually get to the edge of the water or just try to touch the land, I feel like Saiyan is going to be giving them a hard time in doing so.
The hell's broken loose, and you've got to do now. You have got to do everything it takes that you have to survive. But I really like those bold plays coming out from the boys of Ekta. I mean, we did see Augie. He was just trying to scour the land, but he's been spotted out by Leader. He might just get taken off from the backlines as he's being found with his pants down. There you go, Leader punishing him for revealing himself, but that in turn has given away his position, and maybe Fire can just take him out of the equation as Rana Blaster. He is continuing the onslaught for Team Cops as they have already racked up 10 kills.
Indeed, they've already racked up 10 kills. Now, Cops are definitely looking a lot much more better, but just take a look at over here. Beautiful knock coming in from Rana there. What a play. But also, Satan on fire. Walks has already compromised on all the positions or all the position of the players. He already knows where each and every single player is located. Now, just take a look at God Leader YT. He is trying to make his rotation inside the circle, but it's going to get caught off guard instantly. TGOD Esports has been completely eliminated.
How? How are they able to do this? Team Ekta, oh my goodness, they've managed to make it to the circle. They are somehow already trying to get in, but I think Augie just has a slight cover of that rock that he's got. But how is Fire gonna move? I think he's a dead man already. He just needs to survive, try to get those extra points for himself as 3 teams remain. Anything can possibly happen. This chicken dinner might just get into the hands of Team Cops, considering the position their players are in.
Indeed, consider just take a look at all this. Most of the land is like not even existent over here. It's all covered by water, and there's just only small parts of land just left inside the zone. But now, Vox is definitely going to be having such a hard time in dealing with the zone because he will definitely get flushed out slowly and steadily, and he will have to leave his cover and try to jump inside the water. But also, he won't really be able to survive in the water for long, and I'm pretty sure he will get caught in the instance as soon as he reveals his body to the enemy teams, which is going to be Cops right in front of him, and then Iktha is going to be Augie OP right on the right side, in the right side. So Maskey is definitely going to be interesting to see how Maskey is going to be capitalizing on Firewalk's position over here. Firewalk seems like he's just going to be tanking his own damage. In the process, well, his HP is just getting absolutely demolished.
Yeah, I mean, he's got just that first aid to play around with, and he did whatever he could do, but this might be really intense as he's already taken down Augie, securing those extra points for his team, but it was the players of Team Cops who would land the final nail in the coffin, and wow, what a gameplay coming out from these lads. Team Cops taking that chicken dinner right early on with 11 kills.
Of course, beautiful stuff coming in from Team Cops there. Just take a look at that. Total points of 26. Big numbers coming in from Team Cops there. We definitely expected, and as I said, I definitely guessed Team Cops that was going to be one of the winners.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, nothing taken away. This circuit was nuts. To be true. Nobody kind of saw that coming. We have seen certain circles kind of going towards the north, but you know, back and forth, and ending in that small little island that we had. I mean, that completely threw teams off the bat. But that is where the brilliance from Team Cops comes out. You know, Maskey and Rana Blaster. Oh my goodness, this duo. This is certainly that we need to watch out for. We've been talking a lot about Killer, and all their other players have kind of been overshadowed. But you know, now I think this is the time to rise. When you know, Killer was taken down early on, that's where, you know, Rana Blaster and Maskey, he's been one of those best supports, I must say, in the Nepali region that we did get to witness.
Of course, he has been one of the main keys for his team to success as well. But it's also just the way he was playing, like just the way he was damaging the people and the players. Of course, positioning also got him to the position where he was there. But taking a look at the top players, of course, Rana Blaster is going to be there with the 7 kills and the massive damage number also coming in from him. It's going to be 826. But take a look at Augie as well. Not going to be stepping back anytime soon with 601 damage and securing those 4 kills. But as I was talking about, yeah, of course, Cops definitely had one of the best positions going in the zone, but also in the end it did get so much unfortunate even for Iktha and just for certain teams that was just trying to rotate inside the zone, but the zone was merciless and was doing just way too much damage.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you have to talk about Team Ekta, huge props to them because these lads did not have the better of the circles. Cops somehow had predicted themselves. They won the show lines right from the very start. Lost a few players here and there, but still kept themselves alive. As we take a look at the match summary, and well, this was quite an this was quite an eventful match. I mean, to the change of the taste, and what a way to start things off to the final day of our group stages of the PMCO Nepal. So then overall, I must say Team Ekta, you know, surviving with those 2 players, huge props to Augie, because there was a situation you remember when near the ruins area, right? 2 of his teammates were knocked out. He went back, he left his cover, then he went there, and then he got one of them at least alive. Then they come in, take down one of the players of RGR with a beautiful crossfire setup, and then they also make their way inside the circle. They did so much over there and purely deserving of that spot. But there you go, the match rankings coming up, and Team Cops and Ekta again.
Of course, I mean, one thing I can definitely say and securely say is that Team Cops are going to be moving so much in those overall leaderboards with those 26 points secured, and that massive game coming in for even one of the Team Cops members is going to be such a fascinating thing coming up for them, and they're definitely going to be in a happy mood.
I mean, few teams did not really have the way they wanted to play in the first game, and we've got to talk about trusty process. So they early on engaged over there, and Gangster, of course, coming out with that beautiful 1v3 that we could witness when every teammate was knocked down. In situations like that, we've seen, you know, players really panicking and just going in for that quick revive, but he held on. He just waited for the players to come in, and I mean, what an amazing gameplay coming out from all these teams. And too much hype, they could have done better. You know, they held on towards the northern reaches a lot longer. But as we take a look at those Oppo moments, we'll get to see how beautiful these teams did play out in this one.
Indeed, I mean, taking a look at the situation that was in front of him, of course, 2GR and FN, this fight was an absolute utter mayhem, as we would like to say. Just to take a look at how one of the TGT members, like decided TDP members, decided to play Gangsta, definitely being the hero in this situation and eliminating the complete squad of the enemy team. Gangsta was a absolute beast in that moment.
He certainly was. Team Mandala kind of being caught off guard, and that's where Team Too Much Hype also dug their own coffins, right? So they did take a lot of time trying to rotate around. They went greedy for the kills, and by the time they made it inside the zone, it was Instinct who was so well prepared for the boys coming out from Too Much Hype. Did manage to take a few over there, and Divine. This was one of the best plays that we've seen after a long time, but was instantly kind of shot down, courtesy to that beautiful grenade popping right in front of his head.
Indeed, of course, that grenade was definitely making things worse for them. But now, take a look at this situation. This was one of the end circles that was going on right over there. And this is when Firewalks was like, all right, I'm not really going to care if I die or not. I'm just going to be securing that second spot for our team. And he actually managed to secure those 12 points right for his team. And a good job coming in from Firewalks. That decision-making was definitely such a team-favoring decision-making.
Yeah, I mean, he just sacrificed himself out there. He had no other choice, just 3 players. I mean, it was Augie over there, and he knew he could just clinch those 3 points. Used up his first states, but let's take a look at the overall standings. And, Team Ekta and Team Cops pretty much solidifying their position in at least for the finals over here. So as we move along further, I want to see where the other teams have gone. KWIN Esports, they're at the 13th position. They can certainly do better, and having an early exit, so not really helping their flow and not really helping their purpose. So TGOD Esports, FANG, 7DA, Saden, of course, this is where those crucial 3 extra points come in. I mean, had he just continued with the heal battle, he had nothing, right? And after that moment, had he not gone after Augie, he would not have gotten that 1 kill, and the extra 2 points that we get for securing the second spot.
Indeed, yeah, those extra 2 points, of course, mean a lot too. But now, if you are taking a look at these overall ranking boards, now we did see Team LUSTY and Freestyle Esports try to do their best to climb. Of course, that Freestyle was trying their best yesterday though, but it really seemed like they come out on top, which was such an unfortunate situation. I was to be honest, I was on Freestyle's side over there.
I mean, we all were, to be honest. And this is a team, that's relatively new coming into the PMCOs. And, well, they did make a name out of themselves, because I'm going to remember this squad as being one of those most aggressive bunch out of the lot, because they did try to adapt to the meta, and that was the right approach. But, they could have done that in the scrims, and could have tried to go in for those position plays like these teams went. And the moment, I think there was one day where they were trying to kind of play for the position of sort of gameplay, but that certainly did not work out. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be heading for a short little break, because the action is going to get even more intense and hot in Sanhok. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2021, the Nepal edition. And Necro, I mean, what did we just witness in the first game? And this kind of brings me, this has kind of upped my ante. This has kind of raised my expectations because in Sanhok, it's going to be even worse situation as how these teams have been facing off each other. So, what do you think? Who's gonna come out on top in Sanhok?
Well, to be honest, in Sanhok, we all know like it's kind of hard for to go like with any kind of teams because in Sanhok anything can happen. Certainly in the previous map, also Erangel that was happening in the end circles, we definitely did not expect the zone shift to shift where it was. Of course, the water was making such a hard task, or just making the situation even 10 times harder for teams to actually rotate inside the late game circles. And now, if like certain kind of unfortunate situation happens, of course, like yeah, a lot of the teams do get unlucky in those rotation and they do get caught off guard. But in Sanhok, we all know like how tough that map is when it comes to doing those late rotations because there are people proning all over the place. There are people behind each and every single cover. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know which team is going to be coming out on top. I just want to just head in right into the game.
I mean, I really want to check. I really want to get inside. Before that, I really need to sip on my pina colada because, I mean, that's what we are about. We're just gonna chill and watch as these teams go after each other. We are a bunch of sadist people that love to watch chaos happening around, people taking each other down, and jokes apart. Talking about the game right now, the flight path trajectory. You know, kind of dissecting the map. Over here. So it's like we've mentioned earlier as well. So in Sanhok, you can pretty much go anywhere. But the best part about it is you get the circle early on. So while you're even in your flight path, so you can make those small tweaks and adjustments to your drop location as to favor the circle.
I mean, the thing is, like, yeah, these teams do come up with the strategies, especially when it's a map like Santa. No matter where the plane fly passes, yeah, you are going to be able to drop at the location that you have decided and your team has decided when it comes to making those pre-game strategies. So, yeah, of course, even if the circle is going to be on board, these guys will probably be dropping at the place because making those last second changes or last moment changes is definitely going to be affecting your team gameplay or just team strat overall.
It certainly is going to do that. But as we move along, this is the circle that we're talking about. And oh my goodness, the gods of PUBG Mobile are certainly merciless tonight because these players are going to have to do so much. This is a circle which kind of puts you in the dark. Next moment, what happens? Nobody knows. Where does that circle shift? Nobody knows. But of course, the majority of being in those southwestern islands, so it's a good chance for the players of Home and Strong and DM4 to really capitalize on the situation. And Delta M4, they certainly can do that. But look at Flex Nation already locking horns with the players of Cinema Art Gaming right from the very start.
Indeed, they are. But now, of course, there is one of TGOD members, like which is going to be Leader Whitey. They are somewhere close around TDP. TDP securing that completely paradise restart for themselves. So one thing we can definitely confirmly tell is that they are going to be coming up with some juicy loot. But now, take a look at CIG and FN as well. They are in the same city, but are they going to be challenging the fight? This is going to be an interesting thing to watch or witness. But because even if they do, of course, we do love those early game fights. But one of the teams will be going down early off, and which is going to be such an unfortunate situation for either one of the teams.
I mean, Flex Nation not really being in contention to make it to the finals, but Cinema Art Gaming, they have a chance. So the pressure is definitely going to surmount over them. And even while we were casting the Bangladeshi region, you did see the players of Team Wolves, really in the final game, not getting enough kills, not in fact getting even one, but they did manage to make it to the top two position. So it was clear that they were under heavy pressure and they somehow managed to survive. But that's not going to be the case over here because it's Sanhok. If Flex Nation wants to force this fight, which I believe they might, then Cinema Art Gaming have to play their cards right because they cannot afford those early casualties.
Indeed, of course, like any team cannot afford any early casualties. Of course, like it's going to be such a massive disappointment. While we take a look, Height might get early casualty. Nesh missing a lot of shots in the process as well, but Divine coming up on top with that beautiful movement, just trying to bob and weave his shots. Nesh going to be, of course, disappointed because that was an easy knockdown coming up for him, but Nesh definitely missing a lot, much more shots than expected.
Yeah, of course. Now, he did miss it, and we're not gonna blame him for that. Come on, that was kind of a bit on a far off location, And
Hmm.
Divine, of course, having that experience, just somehow managed to dodge it off. But that's where the trouble is not over, right? This is where Team Ekta can actually capitalize, because I do not see the cavalry of Team Hype coming anytime soon. Trigger in the nearby fray, but how is he going to come in support for his teammate? Look at Divine. He's getting hammered down, being pounded, and it's just moments before someone's of course going to take him, and that's going to be Nesh. A beautiful, beautiful early rotation coming in, and that flank angle being formed, and too much hype, and a whole world of trouble.
Of course they are. Of course, Hype is one of the teams that we want to see succeed in the future because we do know how talented these guys are, but they just need a little bit of fresh air to prove themselves or prove their ground. Whilst we take a look at Noob, this man does spot up Paragon, but not really going to be able to connect much shots, and does get one of the knockdowns on Anawachi. Now, Anawachi is completely down, and yes, there comes the thirst as well. Now, Anawachi is definitely going to be so disappointed after that when he went down. Hype evening the things out a little bit in the situation as well, but Trigger also going down. But it doesn't really seem like it's going to be a hard task for them to actually get Trigger back up.
I mean, this is where Team Ekta made a few mistakes. There was no reason, there was no purpose to actually change the compound over there.
Hmm.
But so they kind of did not anticipate the players of Team Too Much Hype to be in the higher grounds. But this is Sanhok that we're talking about. You really, really cannot, believe on your instincts. You need to check for sure. And well, now both these opponents are way too much in the open. But Team Hype, they've got that extra bit of an advantage courtesy to that high ground that they've got. Let's see how they play this one out. Augie doing a fairly decent job at providing the cover fire as Team Ekta retreat from these positions.
Of course, but getting them early casualty done onto them as well. Losing one of the really important players is going to be Anawachi. Hype doing that with that critical amount of damage, but also at the same time, Ikta returning the favors to Hype as well. Now, they both are down to 3 players, but it doesn't really seem like Ikta want to fight anymore. They want to play the fair games and want to rotate in the middle of the circle. It seems like Ikta is going to be falling back, but now take a look at the airdrop one. There comes the AWM. It seems like Baza is actually going to be taking that AWM. And finally, we are seeing a man who actually loves the care packages.
He certainly does. And we've seen these teams actually going in for that. Yesterday, we did see a lot of MK14s in action. So, teams, when everything comes falling down, these are the weapons that will, of course, come in handy. And now, taking a look, Team Hype have certainly taken control over the compound where Team Ekta were formerly were. Now, Team Ekta, being the smarter bunch, they knew that Team Hype is anyways going to come inside. So they might as well just get in, get that compound for themselves, and kind of edge keep them. The moment a Team Hype enters, and that's where they start obliterating those bullets into their heads.
Indeed, they do start, but now just take a look at all these overall situation and let's try to analyze how Team Hype actually wants to play. Seems like they just want to hold on to this compound as long as they can, and then when they are completely fulfilled and they feel like they actually want to change the position and move on to a better, or just like overall when they feel comfortable moving on and they seem like they're not being watched from any other teams, they are definitely going to be making the rotation through. But Killer Wise, he's definitely one of the players that we want to see absolutely pop off and get just 13 kills like he did in the past. But oh my god, getting beautiful shots on Ubin, taking critical damage in the process as well, but definitely going to be spotting Killer as well. But Killer spotting already 2 members of BO in the process as well, and also spotting Shady. Beautiful headshots. Look at this man just hitting everyone's heads.
Yeah, he certainly is. And he's got that caliber. And after that amazing performance, of course, I think the morals, the spirits are way too high. Now, this is a team that's going to completely play without any pressure. So they can give their full A game on. And that's where we can see even more bigger numbers coming out from Team Cops. In fact, the last one was also the chicken that they took. That was so well deserved. That was such good reading of the game. But now, Maski is one of the best supports I've seen so far in the Nepali edition of PMCO. So this is one of those players I have to keep my eyes on.
Of course, we all indeed do. And of course, we can also note down some tips from Maskey too while we take a look at, just like, just take a look at the zone over here. TGOD is going to be definitely one of the teams that is going to be making the latest, that is going to be so late in those rotations as well. And if they do get compromised by BO or either TX, they are going to be in a certain amount of disadvantage because, of course, getting those late rotation inside the circle are definitely going to be so harmful for you and your team in the process as well, because zone is also pushing you inside, and at the same time, if there's a team in front of you, you will get sandwiched.
Yeah, and talking about teams getting sandwiched, this is the same case with Team Hype. They did manage to take down one of the players over there. I believe that was Team Fang in the backward fray. But as they move in, so they know that Team Ekta is right ahead of us. So what's the wiser approach? Go from Sami, take that longer route. So we gotta see, as to how Team Hype has figured themselves off. Of course, we do know that there's no one around Sami, but do they?
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, probably the game sense is here, which is where it kicks in, right? I mean, of course, yeah, they do not like know what's going on around them or stuff like that. But also at the same time, yeah, these guys are the people that have put thousands of hours in the game. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, the game sense does kick in certain situations like this. But now just take a look at Mandala, one of the teams that definitely got eliminated off early, and the teammates were just down so early, and there was only one of the Mandala teammates left till the end, but he was also compromised. It's just, in those early late game stages. But now just take a look at overall 2GR positions. Kamoth is going to be on the completely the right side, and Abhishek is on a rock, getting that high ground advantage on the team over here. Now, Mandala seems like they're definitely in a position disadvantage when it comes to just overall analysis of the situation.
Yeah, but look at Kamod. He is peppering down, he's hammering down those bullets rather, and not really getting successful with the knock, but he needs to be really cautious about his position. And Kamod finally getting that knock onto his Mr. 5, who in the last game tried to survive for so long, did go inside the water, but was taken off. So Mandala under heavy pressure and under heavy gunfire. How are they going to deal with this particular situation? I'm really worried about them.
Of course, I am indeed, because I definitely want Mandala to like actually be on top of their game as well. But now Komodo also jumped down right onto Mandala, just trying to spot out what Mandala is actually doing, and he does spot out some member of Mandala. Now take a look at Rig over there. Rig does have a little bit of ridge onto his name, and he is going to be just floating. He's going to be standing on his legs now. Komodo definitely not expecting Rig to actually stand right there, but also Komodo is going to be completely taking one of the Mandala members down. Such an unfortunate turn of events coming in for Mandala, but now Rick definitely has to watch out for himself as well, because Satan is right in front of him. Now Rick, as soon as Rick actually decides to go out and try to touch that land, he would definitely be in a massive trouble as well. But just take a look at Komodo as well. He is also under a heavy fire from his backlines. While we take a look, Rick has been taken down as well by Komodo. Komodo is absolutely just causing trouble for the entire Mandala team, and this might just be a squad wiping coming from him.
Oh my goodness, he's doing so much inside the water. He just steps out, takes a few players down, goes down again. Oh my goodness, that's pure brilliance, pure genius as we can call. But Team Ekta having that outpost to their advantage, they got that. They got those amazing vision for themselves. They spotted the players are 4 men strong, and Augie already starting to cook off those grenades. And if it connects, if they get that one knock, they might as well want to push it. It's still the third circle, and today, Necro, we both have to agree. All these early fights are there, but oh, Frag Die might just have spotted out Komodo. Yes, he gets inside the water. Yes, spots him down, takes a few shots, connects them, but that's where Komodo goes back from around here. Oh my goodness, the commotion being created, this cat and mouse chase between these two players. All right.
I feel like I'm watching a game which is not PUBG, like which is just meant for like water fights or something like that, because this is just completely something else going on. What is this? I've never seen a fight like this occurring ever in my life.
I mean, we've seen a few situations here and there, but this
is just something else. Yeah, this is on the next level.
They've taken things, they've just notched it up a bit, and nobody really. This is what I wanted throughout. Not giving away anything back. Everyone wants those 10 slots, and everyone wants to get into those regional finals, wants to be a part of the PMPL, but it's not going to be the case over here. A lot of teams are going to be disappointed as we speak of Hadron with that beautiful grenade, getting that beautiful knockout. It will get the confirmation rather, but it's Virus. How is he going to clutch this one out?
It's definitely going to be so harder for Hot Wires to clutch this one out because definitely KWIN is one of the top teams, and we all know how talented these players are, especially Kazi, Hardrone. These guys are just on top of their A game. While we also take a look at Wires, we have seen this man pop off a little bit in the past, but not much. So Wires is definitely going to be having a hard time to clutch the situation out, but also at the same time, KWIN doesn't really seem interested in actually taking Wires down. They're just going to be backing off and just trying to play as passive and try to save each and every single player from their team because they do not want to lose anyone early off, which is a really mature choice coming in from KWIN.
Yeah, pretty mature. And I think this is where Hadron's experience comes out. But no, as we speak of it, the Team Satan, they come in the nearby fray. And that guy gets that knock onto its Hadron. I believe the revival will take some while. But Kazi already cooking that grenade, but in the wrong direction, as it'll do no damage. But how is Hadron going to come back online? That's a bigger question over here. Don't die. We can see him going in for those rotations. So, well, Kazi has finally managed to figure out where Virus exactly is. Now, these compounds are very tricky to play with because you've got that lower area where you can spot down the enemy legs, and so you can dish out so much damage. So, we've got to see if Team KWIN can edge this one out, or is it going to be Team Satan walking off with the victory in this skirmish?
Indeed, it's going to be interesting to see, but Kazi definitely one of the players, which is an absolute insane player. But just take a look at KWIN. Seems like they are in a little bit of trouble over here. Kazi definitely wants to run across the field and actually get the revive on his teammate. But it certainly is going to be such a massive task for him. As we take a look at Kazi, Kazi is definitely one of the more players that is an aggressive player, and he does thrive to get those kills in late game stages. But also take a look at Satan, that guy. Now, one of the Satan members is right next to Team KWIN, but our Team KWIN going to be capitalizing on their position. The Virus is just absolutely chilling right next to the compound where Team Satan is. But now take a look at the situation where Too High GWP is as well. There are 3 players knocked out right in front of him, and that's going to be from Team TX. Now, how is he going to be capitalizing on the situation over here? Of course, this getting all these kills confirmed is going to be the first priority. Seems like this is what he will be doing. Yes, of course, he is going to be confirming all those kills and securing just those extra top-notch points coming in for his team. But Mandala, a massive elimination coming in through as well.
Oh my goodness. Teams are falling down. In fact, the players, but it's just that one squad that has been eliminated, and it's Mandala biting the dust. But Team Extreme, they're not in a good position either. Already losing out 2 of their players right at the start of the game, so that's going to hurt them. It's the 4th circle still kicking in. And look at Kenzie Boy, just being the last player surviving for his team. Now, this is nightmare for Team Extreme because the first game did not really go the way they would have wanted for themselves, and now in the second game, and I think there's gonna be a point where there's no turning back, there's no comeback possible, and that's going to be the end of the road for this particular team.
Indeed, that might be the end, but it certainly definitely won't be this easy to actually put an end to anyone's story. But as if we take a look at BO over here, and for the Enforcer's definitely using that little shack for his cover, it seems like successfully going to be able to do that, but soon the zone will be forcing him inside, so it's not going to be staying there for as long as possible. But now take a look at TDP overall. Their positioning is a little bit better, if we would like to say. Yeah, they do have a lot much more rocks and ridges and just overall trees for them cover, but also like FANG, I feel like has one of the best covers inside the circle and even in the future cover as well. But now take a look at Team Extreme. Big names being eliminated. What are your analysis on this situation that is going on? And also in the process, I am talking TGOD Esports has been eliminated as well. And even CAG, what is going on?
I mean, teams are gonna fall down one after the other, and can't really blame them. It's the circle, to be honest, doing all the magic over here. But Team Too Much Hype. I mean, if they've taken those certain areas, if they're like we mentioned of Sunny, they're gonna have a good show in this game at least. But we've got the players of Team Fan right beside Blood. So this is going to be an interesting engagement. But Raza, or in fact Baza, he's got that AWM.
Indeed, he does, and if he managed to kind of even one shot, anyone who has been taking the AWM hit is going to be in such a massive trouble. While we take a look at Cops, one of the big teams getting in a massive trouble and disadvantage early offs, and if we take a look, Team Cops have been eliminated early off this time. Such an unfortunate situation for Team Cops, but now take a look at 4MS as well. Fang Oni taking a lot of damage in the process of dealing damage as well. But also at the same time, Oni doesn't seem like he's gonna get scared. He is still peeking while he just has 1 HP left. Now take a look at Spy sticking in the res onto one of his teammates, but is he gonna be able to get it off though?
That's a bigger question over here. But right now, Zinkozin trying to push in onto its crazy. Is he going to survive this? No, that's not going to happen. As on it, he's on a domination spree for MS. The bodies are also falling, but on it, still holding on. And they've got the compound, but they have to get inside the circle. That's the bigger task. But Gangsta, again, surviving for his team. They've got the circle in their favor. And Gangsta would, of course, want to try to fend off the push coming in from all these teams. And we'll have to see if they can do something from this game. As Team KWIN, I think the players are falling down one after the other as we just
Look
have
at how
6
many
teams
teams.
remaining. Yes.
How many teams of the upper feed is just completely filled with just like this team getting eliminated, that team getting eliminated, and a lot of big names in the process as well we are seeing. But now just take a look at BD over here taking a massive elimination there. One of their big teammates going down. This is such an unfortunate situation, or unfortunate turn of events coming in for them. But you've been also taking damage from the back. Now he also has to watch his back lines in the process as well. He has to watch his front lines as well. While we take a look at FANG getting eliminated off to the zone. Unfortunate turn of events for them. Unfortunate situations, unfortunate measures. But also FANG getting eliminated with only 3 kills in their hands. But now all these teams inside the circle that are trying their best to get inside, they are in such a massive trouble as well, because just take a look at Baza. He just took so much damage in the process as well that he was not able to outstand it.
Yeah, certainly. As we finally are down to our last few 4 teams, TDP somehow keeping their hopes alive. Too much hype. Somehow have managed themselves up here into the top 4. But where are they gonna go? TDP, they're having the circle. They're trying to fend off Team Hype. But this nade looks promising.
Oh my
Boom,
god.
there he goes. It smacks right in front of his face.
Exactly, that nade was definitely a slapper. As we take a look, beautiful, well-placed, precise nade coming in from Team Hype. But just take a look at what Hedron is doing. Of course, you're not going to be able to heal out the zone. The zone is definitely going to be chipping off so much damage. And as we keep on talking, KWIN Esports has been eliminated as well. Now TDP Yaku definitely has a little bit of much more cover when we are taking a look at this is going to be the end circle, or in the late game circle. He definitely has such a massive cover onto his side, and that's definitely going to be giving him so much advantage. Now we take a look at Captain's peppering down a little bit of bullets, and the guy has already went down as well. Now it's all down to 2 teams, and 4 people are alive. Now TD Yaku definitely trying to find a little bit of angle on the Team Hype. Doesn't really seem like it's going to be successful. And as we keep on talking, it's going to be TDP taking the chicken dinner in their hands.
Oh my goodness, TDP. They're coming out on top. Of course, Team Too Much Hype, also Nova behind. But these 6 kills are gonna be such a sigh of relief, because majority of the job is not yet done. What they are targeting, what they are eyeing out for is that top 10 position, because only then will they qualify, or else it amounts to nothing. So, of course, an amazing game coming out from these old lads, or the old guards, we talk about them. So, TDP and Too Much Hype, what an amazing play. What an amazing victory for them. And even Too Much Hype getting those kills towards the very end. Right off the start, they did not really have the kind of an early game that they would have anticipated, or already losing out on one of those players. But that's when Team Ekta also made a few mistakes. And they could have done a lot. They could have tried to end the fight over there, but just kind of going overboard. But now let's take a look at the MVP and see which was that one individual player that did outshine all.
Of course, Komodo, this man was just doing so much obliterative damage, and just the way he was playing was just so impressive. Securing those 5 kills for his team, that's going to be 5 points just from his side, and also 706 damage. Now, 2RGR was definitely one of the teams that was surviving in the late circle, but wasn't really able to show off much as well, because they just got eliminated in those early late circle as well. But also, Komodo doing just overall fantastic damage, and overall securing a lot much more kills, just might put their team up a little bit.
Yeah, of course. I mean, now taking a look at Komodo, he 100% deserves it. The way he went against Team Mandala, just jumping off from the cliff, taking shots here and there, then again getting inside the water, getting those vision, then coming out on top, again few shots. I mean, wow, that cloud was amazing. But at the same time, RGR not really having the kind of a display this time throughout the PMCO. We'll have to take a look at the top players, in fact. And Paragon nowhere far behind, and Shagar ending things on a good note for his team, at least in the map of Sanhok. But like we mentioned, Necro, I don't think the job is already done.
Of course, the job is not already done yet, but because there are still two more maps, and one of the map is going to be the big boy map, which we like to call Miramar. And now it's going to be interesting to see which team will be coming out on top, because that's the map where you actually need to show your skills and your strategy, and it's just overall preciseness when it comes to just hitting those long range shots. But now, how are these teams going to be capitalizing and utilizing the vehicles in the use in the terms of making those early rotation and just overall use of vehicles?
I mean, in Miramar, I mean, the hell has already broken loose, and I think it's the devils battling their own demons over there. That's the best way to put it, because all these teams, this is a completely different kind of, Nepali PUBG Mobile that we are witnessing, to be honest, right from the start till the end. We've got action every single time. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the match summary and see how the numbers came for all these teams worked out.
Indeed, and Komodo, of course, with the highest skills. Noob going to be securing that longest distance skill. It's going to be 264. Considering it was Sanhok map, that's an absolute great stat coming in from Noob there. And Komodo again with the highest damage. It's going to be Trigger Rock this time with the longest distance travel, going to be 9,843 meters. And Trigger Rock again with those maximum assists. So I feel like Trigger Rock was more kind of like an anchor and a support player for his team, which is definitely going to be hyped, because just overall like the way and the travel damage has been coming in. So this man has definitely been helping his team a lot more in making those crucial strategy changes, or even getting just overall making those massive rotations for his team.
Yeah, of course. I mean, too much hype. They started off kind of in a bummer because they lost out on one of their players, but despite the fact, they still managed to secure that second spot for themselves. But taking a look at the rankings that we have, TDP always, finally, I must say, getting that chicken dinner for themselves and have managed to get onto the 13th spot. Well, too much hype. Again, a very good play from this team, considering that they did not really pop off in Erangel.
Indeed, they weren't really able to pop off in Erangel, but now take a look at CAG as well, though. Now, this team did get eliminated off on the ninth position, which is not bad, yeah, but also was able to secure those 4 points with those 4 kills. Now, those 4 kills definitely tell us one thing, that yeah, this team does have the caliber, this team does have the mentality to actually secure those top positions as well. But now, how are they going to be able to do that is on them. It's on their IGL, it's on the strategies that they are going to be planning for the next upcoming map, which is going to be Miramar.
Yeah, of course. Now Miramar, I'm starting to wonder where the circle is going to go. I mean, is it going to go there? Is it going to get there? Is it going to go there or here? Only time is definitely going to reveal itself, because now let's take a look at the Oppo moments, because this match was absolutely chaotic. But I think if I have to pick my moment, had to be Commode going after the players of Team Mandala, taking them down one after the other.
Indeed, yeah, of course, this man was just absolute obliterated. But now, if you take a look at this fight over here, this was happening overall. Hype did such a good job in contesting the enemy team, and now this is the commode moment that you were talking about right here. This was the most funniest fight I have witnessed so far in a long time coming in from him. Now, of course, it's these situation and these fights do depend on the situation these players are put in as well.
I mean, I do not know what is the contingency plan for tomorrow, what is on the line, but they are, what I'm witnessing, I absolutely love them, because they're putting their bodies on the line. They know it's today or never, at least till the next 2-3 months. So yeah, I think this is what I was missing out on. This is the kind of an action that I really wanted. Everyone going after each other. So you did see a lot of room being created in those final circles for these two teams, TDP and Too Much Hype, to battle it out. And had that been any other day, had that been any other, if it would have been like the first or the second days, we would have seen like 7-8 teams in those final circles, all just beside each other, and then it would have just come down to who had the best position and who got the chicken. But now let's take a look at the overall rankings, the overall storyline that has been built up, and my oh my, quite some uplifts over there with Ekta taking that plunge towards the third position. But I don't think they can kind of topple over Carnage or Vibes tonight.
I mean, yeah, of course, it's going to be a long journey if Ekta wants to actually try to take those teams down, because just look at the difference over here. Ekta has 133, and then the other team, which is going to be on top, is definitely going to be Carnage and Vibes. They literally have 190 plus points, so that's just a massive top off if they want to actually do. But yeah, also at the same time, they do have 2 games left for them, and yeah, if they manage to at least secure like 21s or just 20 plus points overall, yeah, there is a possibility coming in that they might actually be able to just top them off.
Yeah, and now this is what I'm really interested in. TGOD, 70 SAN, Team Extreme, Cinemat Gaming. Then we've got 4MS. So all these teams, still with their dreams held up high. I think a lot of dreams are going to be shattered if they do not pop off in Miramar, because that's like their last chance. Because you never know what happens in Erangel, the final game, and till then, maybe the ship might have already sailed.
Of course, the ship might have already sailed, but I definitely had so many high hopes when it comes to just Mandala overall. And like, just by the looks of the scores and just by they've been playing, I am definitely so disappointed and let down by Mandala as well. But yeah, of course, there are 2 more maps coming in. But I mean, just securing that top 10 position, it's just going to be so tough, Fixes. Like, Mandala will have to work out so much that it's just going to be so tough for them that I would even like to call it that, like, it might be impossible at this point.
I think I must stick to your words. It might be, yes, because you know, for them to have a slim chance of qualifying, they have to eliminate the half of the lobby, and they also need to back it up with a chicken dinner. So if these conditions are met, then and then only we are talking about Mandala making it to the regional finals. Of course, RGR, another squad. I mean, Kamod, you've got to feel bad for that man. He did everything that he could with the way they, this fight entirely erupted out. But still, knowing that in the overall standings you're way too behind, so that's not just gonna be the way he would have really thought of. So but it is what it is, right? And the show must go on. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we will be pushing for a short little break, because coming up next is Miramar. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2021, the Nepal edition, as we head on to our penultimate game of the group stages, where it's going to be in Miramar. And what a storyline that we are having, TDP finally, stepping it up. Of course, too much hype as well. So, with two games remaining, do you think that these teams have got what it takes to make it there?
I mean, yeah, of course, each and every single team in here does have everything to make it what it takes, But also at the same time, it really comes down to like how you are performing when you have the eyes on you, when you have so much pressure building up. Of course, there is going to be so much change made in the last second, especially when the situation just thrives on you. How you're going to be reacting on how are you going to be reacting on certain positions and certain places you are being placed. So I mean, yeah, of course, all these teams do have that courage that it takes, but it's definitely going to be coming down to how these guys are going to be performing under pressure.
Yeah, of course. For them making it to the regional finals, they have to conquer their fears, rise above it all because, that's where how the champions are made. If you want to proceed, then that's how you're going to play. So
Look at the plan.
with that being said, yes, the flight path trajectory again.
it's
Now, when
it's
do you
terrible,
anticipate the
to be
circle
honest.
now?
I mean, it's actually so bad. If you are one of the teams that wants to go to like places like El Azhar or even El Pozo or Hacienda, overall, it's just going to be such a hard task for you to actually stretch that parachute out. Because of course, yeah, San Martin is not really far away, even Picado. But yeah, of course, those main cities are not far away. But overall, if you're aiming for those top cities, it's definitely going to be so hard for you to just stretch your parachute out.
Of course. Now, taking a look, Flex Station not really with all their squad up online. One of the players, of course, missing out, and I believe that's a Nick we are talking about. So, moving on. A lot of teams, as you can see, have taken the plunge. They have dropped. They're trying to take the drop to their own respective drop locations, but this is where things might just get even more spicier because now maybe we get to see a lot of Carmageddons, teams trying to contest for those vehicles, and then some vehicular manslaughters following it up. But to be honest, Necro, this time around, if you've contested so many games in the Nepali region as well as in the Bangladeshi region, we haven't gotten to see those
Look
early
at the
car
circle.
fights.
Look at the
Okay.
circle. Seems like this circle is going to be favoring Los Leones, and I do want to see the absolute chaos coming in those late circle. And I'm pretty sure everyone that is watching definitely loves the chaos. But just take a look at all over the place near Los Leones. Just take a look at how many teams are there. There's CAG, there's FN, there's going to be even 4MS, and it's just an absolute chaos. There's two more teams right in the same position as well. But just take a look at 8 Tower here. They are seems like they are going to be starting with absolute push near on to BD Yupin there. Seems like he will be facing off two people at the same time, which will come out on top. It's going to be a time, and that's only the thing going to be tell. But just take a look at here. Yupin has been eliminated off early, and Ekta Nesh with the first blood.
Oh my goodness. I mean, Team Ekta, they are the fearless warriors that we have in the Nepali region, channeling their Gurkhali spirits as they just mow down their opponents in their sights. So now, Bloody Sports not really having the kind of a start that they would have wanted. But then again, you are asking them to drop off at Picado. That was the decision I must highly question. Because to be honest, we all know Ekta loves Picado, and you coming in contesting them on their drop location, you better be prepared, which was not the case over here.
Of course, I mean, any of the teams, if they have their drop location fixed, it's because they probably know the area really well and they do
Yeah,
know how to contest each and every single fight. So, yeah, of course, if you're going to be dropping into Ekta's territory, you will have to face the circumstances, so on. But also at the same time, yeah, I mean, these guys, all these guys do have thousands of hours as we were talking about it. So, yeah, of course, even they do know how to contest upon onto situations. But if we take a look, FN Bipul has already been taken down as well. These early kills are going on so fast that's even hard to notice.
I mean, we're barely having a time to catch our breaths with all these fights erupting. And look at Team Ekta. I mean, Team Blood did have the best position, in fact, in the entire Picado area. And these are the kind of compounds which are really difficult to push. But despite those facts, they're still getting knocks here and there. Now, Oki in the far off fray, In the meanwhile, the other three players of Team Ekta are going for the push, and and Baza, in fact, he's making a run for his life. He's like, guys, I'm out of here. He just took those, stairs, and he's right on the rooftop. But I believe the players of Team Ekta have sort of figured that one out, and it just might be seconds before they go in with those pushes and take the whole squad down.
Of course, I mean, it seems like BD also, his team is also going to be following right his footsteps, and they both are on the top of the roof. Now, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how Ekta is going to be compromising on their position and how they're going to be moving on the staircase, because Enforcer definitely has his eyes on staircase. And as soon as Ekta decides to actually try and contest and just try to go for the roof overall, there is a crossfire setup coming in from BD as well, right on top there. So now, Ekta really has to be cautious on the way how they're going to be approaching. Of course, they might start nading over here, but in the same time, yeah, it's going to be hard to guess on what side these guys are, unless these guys are actually able to hear the footsteps that these guys are making, that BD is making. But it doesn't really seem like that's the case there. BD is just going to be staying still. Beautiful Molotov coming in just to stop any kind of another pushes coming in from Iktha there. But it doesn't seem like Iktha is going to get stopped with that Molotov, though. They are just charging right through. And this is going to be an early elimination coming in for Bloods Eat For.
Oh my goodness. This is disaster. This is disaster. Blood Esports making one mistake after the other. So it all started with one of their players being taken out. They was all fine till then. They took the best compound. They were supposed to hold it. Yeah, they did a good job. This was really smart for them to take the terrace, to take that flight of stairs up onto towards top. But that's till then it was completely fine. You lost out on one of the players, it's okay. You lost out on another one, that's still fine. Those two players could have easily created that crossfire, and there was no reason on earth that they needed to take those smokes over them, because dropping of those smokes gave Team Ekta an exact idea as to where they were. So one of the smokes were on the right side. The players just go charging in, and that's where they make another mistake, not throwing off that Molotov. You had an Uzi, and only one player can come per time. So at a time, so one mistake after the other, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Team Ekta just blowing away, Team Blood from their territory, and wow, what an aggressive push.
Of course, what a push coming in. Didn't really seem like they were scared of anything, though. This is the
Yeah.
Iktha that we actually know and we have been watching for a long time. And that was definitely that factor, the fearless factor was definitely missing in them for a few days, but it seems like it is finally back because they do realize that this is the last day they have left and they will have to put everything on board. But now just take a look at overall situations that are erupting in the Los Leones. Hype definitely going to be capitalizing on the position of Quinn, though. Hydron taking massive damage and also is going to be getting knocked out by one of the Hype members. Trigger also down to low HP, but seems like he's going to be backing off to cover and going to be healing himself as well.
Yeah, they certainly are going to be healing themselves up, but too much hype. So Trigger is back on his feet, and Frenzy, he's just closing in. He's got Noob in the nearby fray. He's kind of sandwiched, and well, the players of Team Too Much Hype would definitely want to engulf him like an amoeba. As Trigger, finally managed to spot Frenzy out, getting those sound cues, but from the distant far lines, it's Kazi that comes in to rescue, and Divine trading him off, peppering down a few bullets, trying to shovel him apart, and now he's going to deploy those grenades. He's going to drop that down, as we have to expect the players of Team Quinn to just back off. But are they going to do that?
Of course, they are not going to be doing that because Quinn definitely knows that they do have certain kind of advantage going into the fight because they do know there are only two Hype members in this fight. Now, Divine is the one who is really close to them. Quinn, of course, they do have that backline cover fire coming in for them, and Frenzy and Hadron are definitely the two players that are aggressive overall in this entire situation. But Divine also trying to capitalize on the situation. Doesn't really know what exactly Quinn is trying to do, but what Quinn is exactly trying to do is that they are just going to be backing out from the fight. They do not really want to challenge. They do not really want to challenge the fight there. But now, just take a look at TDP here. Overall situation for TDP is looking so delicate. TDP can go down even with any one of the bullets. If they get hit by any one of the bullets, they are just getting down. Even by the nade concussion, they might just drop down.
Yeah, that might certainly be the case. And that was a quite smart decision from the players of Team Quinn to back off, because they knew the numbers were not in their favor, because the other two players were in a very, very far off vicinity. So the moment Team Too Much Hype realized that they're getting shot from the far away. So all they could have done is just deploy a few smokes and then right on pushed on towards the faces. So that was an intelligent, smart move from the players of Team Quinn to back off. Now they've got those warehouses to play around with, while too much hype have gotten that hill position.
Of course, they have gotten that hill position. But just take a look at all over Las Leonas. There are so many teams contesting inside the zone. And also there are a team like TGOD actually making their way, and even TX and Cops overall, they do have the bottom right of the corner for themselves inside the zone. And see, it doesn't really seem like Cops is interested in any of the action that is happening inside Las Leonas. But now just take a look at the teams that are coming inside Las Leonas. So it's gonna be TGOD, 4MS, CAG, FN, even Hype Clan is somewhere near there, and KWIN definitely has the backline covered on the top of the hill. There's just so many teams inside Los Leones.
They certainly are, and you can't blame them as well because so many teams. Nobody really anticipated the circle to go down south. However, we
Mhm.
can of course scoff about the fact that the rotations could have been a bit earlier because now Team Hype. They've got the king of the hills position. They've got a lot of things working out in their favor. All they have to do is just sit and watch as the circle starts closing in, and of course, pray that it ends on them because that is one of those hilly areas which is really difficult to contest. And once the circle kind of shrinks in, it becomes impossible to climb. So a lot of things going in the minds of the players of Too Much Hype. They've got that experience with them. All they need is just to deliver.
Of course, I mean each and every single over here team over here does have the experience built into them, but of course delivering the experience in a massive stage like this, that definitely gets much more tougher. And as the prize money is also being high, it gets tougher and tougher because each and every single team does try to put their best on the table. But now just take a look at 4MS Mr. Spy as well, it's driving the buggy right in the compound there, gonna be smashing it right on the wall, and seems like Los Angeles is definitely going to be the city that is going to be having a lot much more cover inside the circle right now. So that's why there are so many teams just trying to contest inside Las Leonas.
Yeah, of course. Now, Cinemon's Gaming, they've got a team right beside them, and that's TDP. This is the team that you need to watch out for because after that chicken dinner that they've got their morals really boosted up. I think that was imperative. That was needed. That was a much needed respite, in fact, I must say, for this team. But now, if you take a look at the positions respectively, Cinemat Gaming having the better one of the lot because they can try to get in different angles. If you remember, if I'm talking about angles, in the last game of Sanhok, we did see Nawachi trying to get a beautiful, beautiful angle onto which the players of Too Much Hype. I think he took down Captain just from that beautiful flank that he executed. So something similar, but at the same time, you need to watch your nine. You need to watch your backs as well because you've got a lot of teams really coming in close. And Yaku,
Oh,
wow.
beautiful M24 shot connecting right onto his dome. Gonna be taking him down, at that beautiful knockout coming in from Pyaku as well. But just take a look at the way this man is also spraying on the vehicles that are trying to contest any kind of compounds inside Las Leonas. This man certainly does not want to give any kind of homes to any of the homeless people. But also just take a look at how TDP overall is positioning themselves. This is just interesting the way these guys are playing, and it's definitely remarkable and just a moment to actually note down from all the other teams that are struggling in the future in the tournaments as well. But also just take a look at Egg Tower here. Also, they do not really have that close cover, if you would like to say, for themselves, but also at the same time they are trying their best to actually find one of the buildings nearby just to get themselves inside and just to take a fresh, like, take a breather.
Yeah. Now this is classically honest, breaking hearts, right? We've seen these kind of circles, but what really happened over here is the circle took an eastern shift, and now things have changed for Too Much Hype. Now they've got to still inside the circle though, but they do know the fact that this might just go away from them. Now Team Quinn has a really good position, and Team Comps is just beside them. So big teams over there, and how is Team Hype gonna make their way in? That's the bigger question. That's the kind of a mystery that needs to get solved.
Of course, we all are wondering the same thing as well, but also 4MS just making a little bit situation a little bit more tougher for TDP as well, just trying to burst out the tires of their cars. While 4MS is just one of those teams who is just being annoying overall for all the teams because seems like 4MS has one of the buildings that is definitely so tall and they just have an overall better view on all the situation that is happening near Los Leones. Also, team of FN just surviving barely with those two members that they have left. Now, I mean, of course, they won't be able to survive for long enough if they. I mean, if they are just going to be camping inside the circle, inside the houses, because as the zone shifts, and if they are unlucky enough, and if the zone does not shift towards them, it's definitely going to be a massive problem for them.
It definitely is gonna be one. But now the players of TDP. So they've got themselves kind of contained in those Los Leones areas, not really the right position to be playing out from because they need to have a bit of a spread. They've got a lot of control that they could get, but they're not going for it. So, of course, they kind of worried about the fact that there might just be someone else watching them. And we do know the players of Cinemat Gaming, they have been dealing so much pressure, trying to restrict their movement. So, it's going to be really crucial as to how TDP is going to come out through this one because once the third circle ends in the fourth circle forms we get to see a few more shifts here and there. That's when I think if TDP delays a lot they're going to be in a whole world of trouble.
Of course, they will be in a whole world of trouble, but just take a look at CAG's position over here. They do have the hilltop, but also at the same time, if the zone pushes them over, they are going to be in a massive disadvantage as well. Now, they currently definitely do have the advantage coming in on their side, but as I said, if the zone shifts and if the zone forces them to move, they are going to be the team that is going to be having the most disadvantage because certainly if they will have to rotate, they will have to rotate in an absolute open ground because taking a look, they do have the high ground coming in, but now, just take a look at Boyka over here. Just trying to scout out the compounds that are in front of him. Does have that 4x onto his DMR. Not really going to be able to find anyone. Doesn't really seem like it. But Killer, definitely one of the players that is that like there are high chances of Killer actually popping out this game as well. But definitely the other teams should watch out for a player like Killer. But now one thing I do like about 4MS here that just the way these guys are spread out, right? Like of course like the rest of the 4MS players are just going in and the like
Ooh.
just overall the fact that these guys are playing it's just an absolute fascinating thing to watch.
Ouch. Ouch. Look at the shift. Look
Yep.
at the splash of colors that are moving. Team Extreme might just be thanking the stars. They would be like, guys, I told you, the IGL must be, just brimming in pride right now, gloating in glory. Of course, as the circle completely takes that shift, so many teams have to move in. Now, this is where the trouble start beginning for all these players as Firebox. Well, he spotted down a few players here and there, but he also needs to make a move.
Of course, he does need to make a move, but of course, 4MS did have the best position when it comes to just overall Los Leones contestant. Well, also at the same time, right now, when they had to make that early rotation coming in, I'm pretty sure they are ranting about the game right now.
They certainly are, but it's just the job half done. They need to get the chicken out from this one. They've got the favor, they've got the blessings of the zone. As we speak of, Kazi already taking down the players of Team Corps. Rana Blaster taking an exit from the lobby. Team Satan, they are trying to take that eastern route out, but they're right too much in the open. Now these fights will start emerging in front of us, and it's going to be all hell breaking loose.
Of course, the fight will definitely be start happening. Just take a look at how many teams are trying to enter inside the circle with those late game rotation also coming in from Ekta as well. They are not completely in. Two of the Ekta members are definitely not completely in. But also at the same time, if they decide to actually move inside the zone as well, they might just get caught off guard. So this is one of the fears that Ekta definitely has in their hearts. And it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they are going to be working around the circumstances that they are put into. But now just take a look at Augie taking one of the CAG members down. It's going to be CWG. What an unfortunate situation coming in from them. But also just take a look at CAG overall. It seems like the entire team is on the move, and they are going to be contesting the top hill right on the top. They seem like they are going to make it their home.
Yeah, I mean, they seem like gating this place, trying to restrict the entry of Cinemat Gaming. Gangsta, as he takes down Noob from Too Much Hype. Team Too Much Hype in a whole world of trouble right now. And like we had anticipated, if the circle does not go on down onto with them, they are just not going to be having an easy time traversing around. So that's pretty much that we had called for, and that's what's happening now. Delta M4 trying to be too much in the open, and they might just get punished as they've been spotted. Knocks happening here and there. The kill feed starting to dance, and as we speak of RGR, they are trying to get in, but how do they do with so many teams at bay watching on them?
Of course, how do they do is the same question I'm wondering as well. But also, just take a look at so many people are going down at the same time. Even Augie goes down. Ixa seems like they are having a hard time in surviving. Even Anawachi goes down from Jigaboo. Oh my God, what is going on? Divine also dying, getting knocked to fall damage as well. And as we take a look, Ixa Esports has already been eliminated. Ixa definitely seemed like they were crumbling one by one. They were going down one by one, and in the end, they were just completely knocked down. But now, just take a look at Kamo. It's taking so much damage from DM4. At the same time, Sting going to be having the cover of the buggy, but not really going to be able to sufficient, or just, overall, just a better cover over here, because buggy is definitely one of the covers that definitely has so many gaps inside it.
Yeah, it certainly does have. And, well, the players of Delta M4 might just have wanted a few good scores, at least 2 times at the very least. But he's still doing a lot with what he has and getting those few knocks. That's really good. But looking at Onit going against Clown. Now, this is a fight that is going to be really, really interesting, because Onit is the last surviving member of his team. He's got to watch his back. And the moment he starts going after Delta M4, the moment his attention shifts towards that one particular direction, someone else from the back lines might just strike. And that's what I'm worried about.
Of course, the backlines, of course, each and every team, and even normal players are also worried about the backlines all the time, because, of course, it's nothing worse than dying in the back, and of course, will be so disappointed, and certainly disappointed if you do not get a fair chance of fighting back. And if we take a look, 2GR also has been eliminated. Big names are getting eliminated early off, but also at the same time, there are so many teams surviving in the late circle, so of course, the fight will be happening so many times as well. DM4, Cops Killer YT seems like he's finally going to be going down as well. Now, as we take a look at the elimination chart, FANG has also been eliminated. No Cop, Masky G, definitely one of the best support players that we were talking about. It's going to be throwing a little bit of Molotov, but also if we take a look at the eliminated charts, Too Much Hype also being eliminated. So many being eliminated off instantly back to back that is just an absolute chaos.
I mean, yes, it's complete pandemonium as we speak, as Masky just spraying down, obliterating one of those players, one after the other. He's just doing that. One few grenades from his side. Any single movement might just do the job. Look at him. He just grinds through them like butter. And now comes the push from his side. Is he going to get the confirmation though? But elsewhere we can see Leader. He's just peppering down a few bullets here and there. And now it's a 1v1 situation. Seems like he spotted down a players. And no, Blacks in the meanwhile getting knocked out by the players of Team Satan. But it's Masky still continuing his onslaught as he finally lands that final nail in the coffin and gets the squad wipe.
Of course, beautiful squad coming in, squad wipe coming in from this man. And also, Frenzy seems like he is also dominating the edge circle as well with those beautiful utility placement coming in from him. But just take a look, Parasite going down from FN as well. Now, 7DS also being eliminated from the game, and Trusty Process also getting eliminated. TDP, big name, also getting eliminated. Now, TGOD is definitely one of the teams who did not expect them to actually survive to the late games, because they aren't really having them big of the lucks to actually being survive till the late games. But 4MS is definitely going to be the squad right in front of them. It seems like they do have the Rich as the cover, or for their cover, as we'd like to point out. And yeah, TGOD seems like they are overall in a really healthy state of mind, and also in a really healthy cover.
Yeah, that is. But right now, you can take a look at the players of TGOD, like you mentioned, they do have that cover, but now they have to get inside the circle. So that is where the trouble begins. But that is some beautiful, beautiful smoke path being built up, as they might just have to make their move. So this is really promising, and we just have to see if they're actually taking their vehicles along with them. But Keontae, what a beautiful shot that was from the bolt action, channeling his inner demons. And we do not see a lot of the bolt action these days, but him getting it back kind of restores my faith in this weapon, as Boyka just goes charging into the enemy line, and they've lost out on Leader, but that's certainly that they can afford. But Frenzy, oh my goodness, catching the players off guard, and it's all gonna come down to Kyante. Can he clutch this one out, taking so much damage, but taking fire from the left hand side as well?
Oh no, Gante's in such a massive disadvantaged position. Now just take a look at 4MS as well. They are certainly creating such a massive disadvantage for TGOD. And it seems like TGOD is not going to be able to hold off for long. And that's going to be elimination coming in for TGOD as well. Unfortunate circumstances for this team. 4MS was definitely one of the teams that was certainly annoying them from the backlines as well. And TGOD, yes, of course, as we mentioned in the previous times, TGOD has been eliminated as well. But now, one of the teams that we really want to watch out for is going to be CAG because they have 3 of their players live, which is going to be a big thing coming in. And also KWIN Frenzy seems like we have seen this man so many times in the kill feed that it seems like this man is also just dominating the late circles.
Yeah, he said he is. Now, Mr. Spy getting that final kill over there, and down goes Team Queen. But now, what do? We've got 4 teams in contention here over here, and they need to get that rest back onto its poison. And 4MS really going big when things have started to end. It's the final last, it's the second last match, in fact, the penultimate match. But Poison trying to get into cover, and Maskey, he's doing so much. He's taken down Poison. He's got those extra kills secured for his own team. I really want to take a look rather at how many kills does this lad have.
Of course, me too. I mean, the circle. Just take a look at the circle shift over. It's such an unfortunate circle as it is right in the open ground, and even there are so less ridges. Of course, 4MS does having that biggest ridge coming in inside the circle. Yeah, and that's the only ridge seems like it's going to be inside the circle. Of course, there are no pieces of cover right now up till now, but just take a look at the circle shift. Inside the small circle, there are literally no covers. The only covers that is possibly visible is going to be that small ridge line is right in front of 4MS. Now, the thing is, 4MS would definitely want to go and contest that ridge line as fast as possible and as early as possible before all these teams start making their moves. But just take a look at this man called Niku. This man is just driving around even in the late circles. He is just driving in circles.
I mean, oh my goodness. Now, I think this is kind of the calm before the storm because we did see so much fight break down in the middle. Now, this is what I was talking about, right? This is the room that these teams are finally getting, the room to breathe, the room to kind of get a good position. But Team Extreme coming out on top on this one. They've got their numbers backing them up, and this airdrop, the MK14, this weapon, if used properly, can just wipe out the whole lobby alone over here. So we're gonna see if actually teams are going to contest for that, which is very highly unlikely to happen.
Indeed, it is really highly unlikely to happen. But now, take a look at TX as well. Now, overall, this whole entire team, yeah, they do have all 4 of their members alive, but also they do not have great positions if we want to take a look at inside these late circles. Oh my God, what a beautiful car explosion coming in from just this man over here. What a beautiful stuff coming in from GWP. This man is just an absolute, just obliterator.
Yeah, he certainly is. Now Depresh, oh my goodness, a few kills here and there and too high. He's also been in the thick and thin of it all. Now Kazi retaliating in fashion as we have the hell breaking loose like we just mentioned. Now Team Extreme, Nico getting that revive onto its teammate. Kazi making those flank angles happen, and Cinema Gaming might just have a good chance because they've got that slight ridge advantage and also just the dip to play around. The numbers not really in their favor, and this is where the players of Team 4MS might capitalize. But Instinct, in fact, relying on his Ultra Instinct over there, makes that push in as he's brought down the numbers. But is he gonna clutch it out? What is going to happen?
Of course, if he clutches out, it's going to be such a massive hype moment coming up for us. But take a look at 4MS also lose on one of their players is definitely going to be such a massive disadvantage coming up for them as well. Mr. Spy, definitely one of the players that do not want to lose, especially in critical situations like this. But of course, the rezzing in certain kind of situation is going to be such a massive task coming up for the teammate as well. Now, TX seems like one of the best teams that has the entire advantage going up forward inside this because they do have that tractor for their cover as well and that little bit of just hay bale on his cover as well. But now, as we take a look, it's going to be Team Cops completely getting eliminated from Nico. Beautiful stuff coming in from this man. This man has just been putting on a show for us, but also at the same time, 4MS seems like they are also in a massive disadvantage. Now, it's going to be Instinct trying to just scout out the area, just trying to take a look at the entire situation that is happening right in front of him.
Oh my goodness, poor lad. Did try to go in for those first eight battles, but this is where Nico knows that he's gonna just mow down Deproche, but that's not gonna happen as he's also gonna fall victim to the play zone. And there you go, Team Extreme finally getting one home. But is this going to be enough? 15 possession, chicken dinner, 19 points. They have to get one more chicken with good number of kills to solidify or to kind of just enter inside the top 10. So I mean, I'm not just going to call the shots right now. I'm really feeling nervous. I mean, this team had it in them right from the early start, but they were not really going big. They were not really getting those positions or those frags that they wanted. But finally, once the circle kind of shifted towards them, they knew this is their game to lose, and they could not afford to do that. So, I mean, now with this victory, I want to take a look at who the MVP is, and it's Masky.
Of course, Maskey. This man was playing just so well overall. And we all were talking about, like, him being the best, one of the best support players, to actually being able to support his teammates so well and just try to put them in a spot where they can actually just frag out. But this time seems like Maskey has done that part for his teammates as well, coming up with 4 kills and 683 damage. Big numbers as well coming in from this man with assists of 3 and also 107 healing done. Not much healing done as well in the process of doing so much damage. So Maskey, definitely well played from this lad.
I mean, today the zone has been throwing so many curveballs at these players, and not just in Miramar. It's every single map that we've seen so far, and these players have to be playing on their toes. Already, they're so alarmed, they're so vigilant, but you're just adding extra pressure with such circles like this. But hey, no one's doing that on purpose. It's just the beauty of the game. It just throws you out of your comfort zone. So, taking a look, in fact, at the top players, we've got Too High from Cinemat Gaming. He did whatever he could. But the players of Team KWIN also put their hearts out as they're still fighting for that top 10 position.
Of course, yeah, they are still fighting for that. And KWIN definitely one of the big names. Yeah, of course, I have massive faith in the team upcoming going. And of course, the last map is going to be Erangel. So yeah, of course, there is a massive, KWIN job also coming in as well. They need to try to get those at least top 3 position with a lot of kills in their hands as well. At least like 7 or 8 kills. 7 or 8 kills is not that much to ask for, It's actually, it's an okay amount of kills. But also at the same time, yeah, KWIN does actually need to get that many kills to like secure that spot.
Yeah, it's all gonna come down to who gets the chicken in the last as we take a look at the match summary. And there you go, 270 meter, the longest distance kills. But one other thing that I must point out, we did see some bolt action today, and they've been pretty impeccable. I mean, we've got to give it to these players under clutch circumstances, under such tight, sticky situations. These players still have the cojones to, rather opt for that bolt action and deliver. I mean, just yielding that weapon does not matter. You get a bolt action, oh, this player might just be a bit flashy. But then again, you're just hitting shots, and then at a moment, you're like, nah, it's just, it's okay. But, connecting your shots in those competitive lobby, it's kind of a feeling of a satisfaction. But let's take a look at the match rankings and see how these teams fared off. We're still waiting, and it's going to
Yep.
be any moment
There we
now.
go. Of course, Team Extreme taken. As you were talking about the bolt action, of course, it's way much more harder when it's a competitive lobby, right? Because no one really wants to show their head away or just give their head away instantly. Of course, they all are going to be just tucked inside their corner or tucked inside their houses. And even if they do take peeks, those are just going to be some millisecond peeks. So if you will have to hold the angle until someone decides to actually peek in the angle. But if we are taking a look at the match ranking overall, of course, yeah, TGOD definitely had one of the best positions coming inside the circle, but also at the same time, they did get eliminated on 9 positions, so they are only going to be securing those only 2 placement points. But I felt like TGOD could have at least gotten that top 3 spot for them.
They should have, but well, we can't really be the ones, calling the shots over here. This is TGOD just, having a few bad decisions, really causing their exit from the lobby. But the major disappointment over here is trust the process and too much hype. I mean, they had too much hype. I mean, trust the process, the way they were playing, and the same goes for too much hype. And I think my expectations were built up. I thought that these two teams could have done it, but just getting those 3-4 kills, but individually as a squad, that's gonna spell a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, this fight right here on Fakata, as we were talking about, and as we were casting and analyzing as well at the same time. Ektas just completely obliterated BD there, and getting eliminated first off in such an early game. BD is definitely going to be having such a massive disadvantage going up forward in the future.
Yeah, of course. And now I am only waiting for one last thing. That's the overall rankings, because with just one game remaining, and with a few teams taking the rise, in fact, Team Extreme on the 15th position if they get the chicken. So it's gonna be so crucial for all these teams that are from the 11th to 18th position to try and get those chicken. And nothing less than a chicken is acceptable over here. Either you just get 15, 20 kills or something else apart from that, which is not the ideal case over here. So I'm really interested and rather intrigued to see how much has this kind of changed in the overall rankings.
Of course, I mean, yeah, not that many changes going to be coming in, but yeah, of course, the overall ranking are definitely going to be the interesting thing that we all want to keep our eyes on. But overall, the overall ranking, I feel like, yeah, there are going to be certain teams that are going to be taking a certain amount of leap in overall ranking as well. But just overall, I feel like, yeah, there might be a little bit of movement forward.
There might just be, but we have been asking about the overall rankings. They're gonna be at our screens any single moment right now. But the question comes down to this: Necro, do you think Team Too Much Hype can make it?
I mean, as far as just going for top 10 and just taking the fact under consideration that there is only one map left, to be honest, I mean, if they are playing the way they played last game, it's going to be a no, right? It's going to be a straight up no. But if they are going to be performing way better from the way they played in the last game, for example, at least securing those 25 plus total points in the end, then maybe there is a chance. Well, the situation's looking still shaky, I'm saying then there's maybe still a chance.
One thing for sure, Cinemart Gaming, they do have that chance. And yeah, for Too Much Hype to really try to make it over there, they have to get the chicken. They have to get a big one at that. They need to get at least 20-25 points and make sure the other teams are not getting enough. So they have to really put their best foot forward over here. But taking a look at the other teams in contention over here, so Delta M4, one of the other teams that have been so impressive when the PMCO started, with the way they started going after the players of Team Vibes. And I really saw that spark in them. But that spark kind of bursted out really soon. The supernova explosion happening, and not really the kind of a tournament that they would be wanting for themselves. But on that note, this is still a new team. This is still their first time. I'm pretty sure next time they're going to do well. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, what we are going to do is go for a short little break, because coming right after is the final game of Erangel.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Now, this map is definitely going to be one of the last maps that are going to be showing up for us and this entire day. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they are going to be playing it out in the last map of Erangel. Now, all these teams have been showing us such a massive performance overall, and we have been seeing an absolute great performance from each and every single team that we have been spectating since a long time. But overall performance, if we take it under consideration, yeah, of course, some teams are able to show it up and some teams aren't really able to show their stuff up. But one thing we definitely had our eyes on was the team Too Much Hype. We were definitely asking each other the questions: is Too Much Hype going to be able to make it in the top 10? And the situations for them are definitely looking so much shaky.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, we've got our beautiful two faces coming out over there. And yeah, a few technical glitches here and there. And now with the final game, about to start. I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? Who is gonna walk home? Because from the teams that were placed from 11th to 23rd or 22nd that we saw, anyone walking home with a chicken is gonna get a direct spot into the finals. And also, under certain circumstances, everything comes at a price. So it's going to be a rather easy affair for the players of Cinemat Gaming. But if you have to pick a team, now yesterday your prediction was correct. Yesterday your final prediction was correct, and even you started off with the right prediction. So
Mhm.
now I'm gonna put you in the spot. Give me your name.
Not again. Okay.
I
I mean,
love
I definitely feel like you absolutely love to like put me in some of those uncomfortable spots, and just try to make me think about what I want to say also over and over again. Okay, you know what? You know what? Since you actually want Hype to win so much, I'm gonna go with Hype.
I mean, that's too much hype we're talking about, and they have
Hmm.
built the hype around themselves. They have been, they've been very close to that chicken, but yet so far. And now it's just that final game. Either it's do or it's just wait for next PMCO, because they would want to be, of course, going along to the regional finals, but now,
Hmm.
ladies and gentlemen, we have the final fight path trajectory over here, heading from Novoripnoi to its shooting range. Quite a beautiful flight path, I must say. But I'm really anxious and I'm really keen to see where is this circle gonna form, because the first Erangel was madness.
Oh my God! Seems like Hype is already in a massive disadvantage, starting off the game with only 3 members and even FN. Oh my no! I have went with the bets all in on the Hype, but it doesn't really seem like they are going to be having all 4 members of their team inside, and same goes to FN as well. But this is just going to make things so much harder for Hype to actually climb on overall leaderboards if we just keep our guesses for a second inside.
Yeah. Now, if you take a look at Team Cops, of course, again going to their good old Novoripnoi area. Now, taking a look at Team Satan. So this is one of the teams that did not really start off well, but they've been picking themselves up in terms of the position points. So they've been getting kills here and there, and today also we did see them trying their level best in the first game of Erangel. So, ouch, the circle again, Necro going towards the northern side, but we have two teams fighting over here.
Exactly. I mean, it seems like there's going to be a massive fight erupting early off, and we are just waiting for the volcano to just erupt and just burst out the entire lava on this area. As we take a look and we proceed inside this fight, seems like CAG is not really interested in fighting these teams, and seems like they are just going to be climbing up the walls. They did loot those 2 buildings, but also at the same time, they don't really seem interested in challenging the fights or even trying to take either one of their members from Mandala down. They are just too tactical, if we like to call it in that way. But seems like Quinn Kazi drops in a really unfortunate spot, and seems like Piaku is gonna get an easy elimination for himself this time.
Aye, aye, aye. I mean, Quinn, come on.
You
Not the
cannot,
guy.
yeah, you
Not right
cannot be
now.
losing players like that.
Not right now. Not right now, to be honest. Well, the DBS. Okay, let's.
The
This
big
this
boss
weapon
shotgun.
has been. Yeah, I mean, this weapon, to be honest, has been doing the wonders. When you're trying to move in, get the push going in for yourself. I think. I think that's when. if you have to kind of counter block a push on a team that's trying to get on your face, this is the weapon that you need to have. Now the problem with the other shotguns in question over here, the S1897, the S68, S686, so that's the thing, that you've got one double barrel and the other is a pump action, so that slight delay kind of creates some trouble, and S12K kind of goes off the charts. Now we know DBS was a former airdrop loot. We know how much damage this gun can dish out if used properly. But at the same time, players kind of are a bit skeptic, considering the fact that this is a mobile version, and then you have to be really, really good with your crosshair placement on that.
Of course, I mean, yeah, it's definitely going to be hard for you to do those accurate cross replacements, especially on devices like mobile. But also, these are the pro players that we're talking about. So, of course, they shouldn't really be struggling much when it comes to just doing those easy, mathematical calculation and trying to put those crosshairs on the enemy heads.
Now, a frag die, not really having the kind of a loot that you would want. Just that one M16. Might as well pick that mini. No, it's not want that. Oh, it's got the Uzi. So if you got the
Ooh.
Uzi, you would love to play around
Hmm.
that small little class cannon of a weapon. So one interesting decision that I did see from the players, in fact, of Mandala over there, was he opted for the M16 rather than the Mini 14. So what do you think about this decision?
I mean, of course, both of the teams I mean, both of the guns are, I mean, good. But of course, I like Mini 14 more. To be honest, I just prefer Mini 14 so much more when it comes to just those long range and even mid range fights. And the way you can just spam that DMR just so fast, it's just an absolute fascinating thing.
Right. But now, see, the thing with a DMR is that it gives you that extra bit of a pump, but lets me hold on to my thought as Rig kind of missing out on that first shotgun shot, but his teammates kind of join in tandem, in fact, pushing and getting those knocks secured. But the trouble, the woes, the misery for Team TTP are not yet over. They lost out on one of their players. Now they're in for a vengeance. Now Gangsta with that beautiful, beautiful grenade being lobbed off, and Mandala, oh my goodness, they're stuck up. They have nowhere to run. They have nowhere to hide. And what are they gonna do? They're being shredded away one after the other. Shagar comes in from behind. Well, the players are back on their foot, but how are they gonna fight this one out? And as one of the players gets knocked down, the last player survives. He also gets knocked down, and the final player just getting rammed over. Oh my goodness, Team Mandala taking yet another early exit.
Indeed, Team Mandala just getting completely deleted off this tournament, as we would like to say, because this was the last game they had a chance to actually prove themselves, and didn't really seem like they were able to. So I would definitely use the word deleted, because now we are not going to be seeing them anymore. But now just take a look at CAG also. This team also has been proving their ground since a long time, and I feel like, yeah, CAG is definitely one of the teams that does have the caliber to actually make it onto the next zone as well. But now, what do you think so fixes? Like, which team from this lobby would actually be able to survive to late zone and just absolutely dominate out?
I mean, anything can possibly happen right now. I'm not calling any shots. I know that was betrayal from my side. But to be honest, I think I must side with you on this one. Team too much hype, because just because of the kind of an experience that they put on the table, they've got players who've got you've got that PMPL play experience. They've got that game running in them. They know how to handle the situation, and it kind of breaks my heart to every single time you would want a team to even get better. But at these situations, which could have been a very easy, early qualifiers, are certainly not looking like that. But at the same time, I'm feeling proud about one thing, that the Nepali region has grown up. It's not just those few handpicked teams. It's now everybody, kind of trying to display their best gameplay, trying to put their best foot forward. And we've seen so many surprising plays. And I think the biggest one, I must say, is definitely going to be Team Carnage. And Ekta is nowhere far behind.
Of course, Ekta is nowhere far behind indeed, but as we were talking about Team Ekta, if they want to take that to a position on the top, they would have to work a lot in this game, at least because this is the last chance they can ever get to. But like also talking about the facts, Team Ekta has already made inside too, so they don't have to really worry about what they're doing right now. But just take a look at all over DM4 position as well. Now, DM4 might just get contested by Team Ekta there because we, of course, know how solid and strong Team Ekta is. DM4 would definitely struggle a bit going up against Ekta, but yeah, it's definitely not impossible for them to actually take down and delete that team off the game as well.
Yeah, 100%. But now, we gotta see what's gonna happen because the players of Team 4MS, so they're in a bit of a spot over here. So they're kind of safe, but at the same time, it's those zone rotations I've been talking about in circles. Where you are thrown off with a curveball right from the very start. I think it's very important to hold on and get the center, at least get a good position, because yes, loot is there. But if you talk about those professional teams, like the big names, they prioritize a lot on those timings. A lot of teams, when the first circle hasn't even started to close in, when there's like 1 minute 20 seconds on the clock remaining, that's when they start rotating. So those small aspects, those small changes, they might not have the best of the loot, but in terms of positioning, they might be in a very good spot to engage fights. Now they take down a squad, they get those extra loot from over there, and they continue on. So there are a lot of things that these teams can be working out for. But in terms of the mechanical gameplay, or you can say the macro gameplay from what we've seen from the Nepali teams, I'm really impressed. But when things get difficult during the pro leagues or during the regional finals, I want to see how these players hold their grounds.
Of course, even I want to see how these players hold these ground. But if you take an overall look at Fang's situation, also Team Satan is right next to them, and these guys are. Look at just how many cars are on board right now. There are so many cars we are taking a look at, and it seems like each and every single member from each and every single team has a separate car for him, and there are just so many cars overboard, and it's just actually so interesting to see those car logos just absolutely running all over the place. While we take a look at 4MS, also seems like they are not going to be scared to do any kind of rotations right inside the circle. And if we take a look at 2RGR Kamoth here, definitely one of the men who was actually dominating a lot much more in the previous last circles. This man was doing so much for his team as well. But KWIN, also one of the teams that all the teams need to watch out from. They have been proving their grounds. They have been testing each other's ground as well. While these teammates are also so useful for each other, they are trying to get those crucial revives in for their teammates as well. The support rollers are definitely so well balanced and so well players for Team KWIN.
Yeah. Now, well, taking a look at Dondai. So, Kazi not really being in a very good spot from the early start. We did see him popping off, getting knocked out from the server. And, well, Team Quinn. So, this is the squad that started off their PMCO regional group stage run in a very good fashion. In fact, they even went to dinner one day. And as things go on, we gotta see how are they gonna end it over here. They're close, it's possible, but at the same time they need to be killed heavy.
Indeed, they need to be kill heavy if they want to secure those top positions as well. But now, if you take a look at KWIN, also this team is trying their best to actually just prove themselves overall to all the people or the all the people that are their fan. But seems like they are getting kind of successful in doing that as well. But if we take a look at the other side of the map, there are so many fights happening in the process as well of getting rotations inside. It's the only second zone. The zone's not going to be dishing out so much damage. While we take a look at Paragon over here, Ikta seems like they are in a little bit of disadvantage when they are taking a look inside this fight, because seems like TGOD definitely have compromised really well on the situation of Ikta overall. And Anawachi definitely going to be the teammate that is going to get knocked out instantly. But just take a look at TGOD. Just the way these guys are playing is just an absolute fascinating and just a fantastic thing to watch, while these guys are just awesome players in general.
Yeah, that certainly is. That certainly is. But now, if we take a look at the teams over here, so we've got Kyante. We've got Kyante, who's pretty much low on his HP. and he's trying whatever he could do. But now they're making that push inside that military bonk. They're trying to push onto with Paragon, who is an absolute. He takes one knockout, but he gets knocked in return.
Indeed, gonna get knocked out. Ikta losing a massive player in their team as well. Paragon, one of the best players that they have to offer. Now it's Augie OP gonna be making the rotation instantly with his buggy though. Is he gonna be able to go wherever he wants to go safely? Because buggy is definitely one of the vehicles which is a lot much more easier to hit. And the guy inside is definitely not much more safe inside of buggy because just the open space, the amount of open space buggy has is just actually insane. And it can be easily compromised or taken down as well. But now take a look at TDP also having one of the really good position inside the circle. They actually are almost in the middle of the circle, not completely, but also they are going to be spotting Team Extreme as well, taking a little bit of shots in the process. But just take a look at the rotation that are happening. Team Saiyan seems like they are certainly not going to be falling back if they want to actually make these rotations. They are going to be making some sacrifices of their teammates, and so does that happen. Saiyan also losing some of their teammates in the rotation process as well, while TDP Shankar doesn't seem like he's going to be taking a chill anytime soon. Seems like he does want to blow all those vehicles off that TDP has to offer. But now, just take a look at all this situation that is happening overall. Now, TX, definitely the team that is not really in a healthy spot. If we take a look at TGR, to RGR as well. Brooklyn seems like he is going to be just a man who's just going to be standing all in the open ground, and seems like 2GR team is definitely in such a massive advantage in the entire overall fights these are happening over here, because it seems like just look at the amount of cover these guys are taking themselves. They are staying near a compound, while at the same time there is a ridge right in front of him, and there are also some rocks in front of them, and they are also in a high ground advantage as well. So now that means they do have all the visual they can in late circles, and also at the same time they do have all the cover that they possibly can ask for. So they are definitely in one of the best positions you can ever ask for. But now if you take a look at DM4 Clown, he's just gonna be crawling down onto the floor here. It seems like FN Parasite is definitely gonna be one of the players for FN, just trying to survive, barely survive in open grounds like this, especially when you do not have those covers going up in your favor. Of course, you do not have any kind of choice but then to just prone down and just try to do anything possible. But now Katakuri seems like he's also going to be dishing out some damage on the vehicle that is going to be making the rotation as well. But overall situation, if we take FN under consideration, and if we try to analyze the way this team is playing, it doesn't really seem like they are going to be sticking around for a while if they are just going to be playing the way they are playing right now. But just take a look at DM4, the way these guys are making the rotation towards FN. They don't seem like they are scared of FN at all. They are just being so aggressive. Now, DM4 is, of course, the team that is on top of this entire situation, but Parasite does have a really surprising position. If we take a look, Parasite taking heavy damage from DM4 as well. Now, going to be backing off to his teammates, certainly, because he does want to get both of his teammates rezzed. But in the process as well, just take a look at Sting with an absolute off angle, holding him down. Going to be taking him down, and that's going to be another team put down to dust.
Wow, oh my goodness, the way these teams are performing right now as the circle slowly but surely starting to close in. This is the fourth circle that we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Still 13 teams alive. Now, with that being said, TGOD really going in for that push. Keontae taking the walking it off, trying to spot someone from the edges. He's just spraying into thin air as he's been spotted down by Sting. Now getting some heavy fire onto it's him. How is he gonna make it now? He's given a lot of position. Now the players of Delta M4, they are fighting it out. They have no chance in making it to the regional finals, but they might as well walk home with their heads held high, and the chicken dinner might just be one thing that they need right now.
Of course, that might just be one thing that each and every single team that is surviving over here do need that. So it's definitely going to be harder for them to actually contest that chicken dinner in their hand. But now just take a look at Team Hype as well. They do have all their teammates alive, which is only going to be 3 players because one of the players was not able to join in. We don't really know the reason for that. But now TGOD, Gyante seems like he is certainly not going to stop as well while in the process of rotation. Gyante losing one of his massive teammates. It's going to be Boyka. Definitely not the teammate that you want to lose out on, but TGOD doesn't really seem like they're going to be stopping the rotation just because they lost them one teammate. As we take a look at this, Hype seems like they are going to be taking a massive fall as well, losing one of their teammates in the process of rotations.
Yeah, absolutely. But now if we take a look at Divine, Right now, he's in a whole world of trouble. Team Too Much Hype might just get eliminated as one more gets knocked down. That's from Clown over here. It's all gonna come down to Divine. How is he gonna face himself in this situation? How is he gonna position with so many squads surrounding him? We've got the players of TGOD, but no, he's kind of backing off. But is that a wise decision, as his car might just get exploded?
One thing I'm definitely noticing here is that in those late circles, DM4 is just absolutely showing their true colors, as they are just king of the hills right now. They are absolutely just ruling on everybody, as we are taking a look at these players just absolutely just dumpstering everyone down. Well, just take a look at KWIN also. Seems like they are also going to be taking a lethal amount of damage from DM4. Now Nemo just driving right inside them, and doesn't really seem like Nemo is well aware of KWIN's position. Has been compromised instantly. Nemo going down, and seems like he is going to get finished instantly as well. Now Sting also getting down from DM4. Sting definitely needs to do something, or even Clown4. If he managed to get the reg onto Sting, it's definitely going to be such a harder task. And as I am talking about that, Sting has been taken down as well with those beautiful, well-placed nades.
And Too Much Hype, their dreams have been shattered as the last player Divine goes out. And with that being said, I 100% agree with you. In those final moments, this is where Delta M4, they're shining. They've got those 5 kills to back them up, and now who is going to come out on top? We've got the players of Team KWIN having that slight high ground advantage, and now all the teams, if you can see off in the far off ray, they have to get inside the circle. Now a lot of teams have actually made it so, but we've got to see where the circle pans out next. Who is going to get the better of it? And by the looks of it, that's no one. Team Cops, however, just the only team just being near the airdrop, but that's just about it, as everyone is going to be fighting against each other ruthlessly, murdering each other, trying to get those kill points, trying to secure those positions, and 11 teams, and it's getting even more and more interesting.
Of course, it is getting even more and more interesting. DM4 definitely one of the teams that was dominating and just showing a dominating performance overall, but that doesn't really seem like it's going to be lasting for a long time, as Clown is the only last man standing for DM4, and still seems like Clown hasn't had enough. He's still going to be showering the bullets onto Harden, but doesn't really seem like he's going to be able to capitalize much onto him. But if just take a look at on the top right side of your screens, there are so many teams on the edge of the circle, and it seems like soon they are moving in as well. If you take a look at CAG Joy, is also in a really kind of questionable spots inside the circle. But yeah, of course, if he does have that cover working out for him, then yeah, that's of course a really good position going up. But just take a look at leader YT taking one of the CAG members down as well. Beautiful contestation coming up from this man.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, TGOD, in those final few games, they've stepped up their game up a notch, and every single player really delivering. Counter going so big with those bolt action snipes we did see in the previous game. But look at Rana Blaster taking down a dig onto which the players of Team FANG, as 4MS, 4 men strong, have somehow secured a compound inside the circle. Now, this is going to be really, really beneficial for them. But now, if they do not pry out for the players, if they do not pry out for the snakes just creeping in onto with them, they might just get naded. They might just get blown away. And that is what the Presh is doing, using his grenades to perfection. As Cop Scaler White, you can see he is going after leader and has managed to knock him and finish him off.
But KWIN, just take a look at overall situation that KWIN has put themselves into. They are struggling so much. They have been taken down on their knees. Now, one of their KWIN members is the last guy alive. It's going to be Dondai. Is Dondai going to be able to happen much, though? Seems like CAG does have only 2 members left as well. There are so many teams just getting dumpstered instantly. So many teams are getting eliminated in the process also. And if we take a look, there are so many teams from so many players from KWIN also taken down and completely eliminated from the game as well. Now it's going to be interesting to see how 4MS is going to be working out, how FANG is going to be working out as well, because they both seems like they both are definitely the strongest team inside the late circles.
They certainly are. But now, if you take a look at Team Cops, they might just want to end things with that chicken dinner, to be honest. They started off going big in Erangel, but not really having... Yeah, look at the zone. Not really having the better of it, but they still know. They've kind of figured out the trick. They know how to enter. Now, they've got those covers playing in for them, and we believe in Maskey. I know this lad can give some amazing cover fire, but look at the players of CAG. They might just meet their makers as 4MS. They are moving in. in, and I believe they've spotted them, and Poison is going to lob a few grenades pretty soon, but he is deciding to use his rifles to get his job done.
Of course, lifers are better to get their job done as they are proving their grounds as well. Their grounds are being tested by CIG though, but doesn't really seem like he is going to be only finding one member from 4MS, but also in the process giving his a position away. Another one goes down from Instinct. Is he going to be able to fight much though? No, not another one though. And in the process, Cinema Art Gaming has been completely deleted off the game as well. Now 4MS trying to get those revives in their teammates, but seems like one of the 4MS members doesn't really want to get revived in the same position. Of course, it does make sense because of one nade and everyone's just eliminated. So of course, yeah, one of the really mature decisions coming in from 4MS members.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Now, Team Fang, they've made it so far. They might as well, want to get the chicken for themselves. They are in the circle. They've got a pretty good position. Not a lot of teams have been testing them. But Yonte taking so much beating, so much of lead being inside his body. And there you go. I guess we might just witness him going out of the server in any single moment. But Lollipop, finally, I believe he's been spotted. But the threat has been terminated. Don't Die going out. And with that, KWIN taking an elimination in the 6th spot.
Of course, one of the big names going down as well. KWIN was doing so much good in the previous match that we have been witnessing them or analyzing them, as we would like to say. But also, 4MS eliminating TGOD, also completely removing them off the game as well. TGOD going to be so disappointed with how they were playing. But now, just take a look at TDP also getting completely dumpstered out. But now, Cops, one of the teams that is looking so strong inside the circle. But just take a look at all these teams. They all have all players alive. It's going to be like overall situation. They all have 12 people alive and only 3 teams left. That means each and every single team has 4 members alive.
This is a trifecta of death we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen, as we are finally headed for a Mexican standoff. And now we've got 4 men strong. We've got Team Cops, we've got Team Fang. Who is gonna come out on top with all these players just charging at each other mercilessly, ruthlessly? There you go. The players of 4MS making the push. How is Team Cops gonna fend this one off?
Of course, it's going to be a harder thing to tell us that how are they going to be making this happen. But just take a look at Rana over here. He is trying to create an off angle on the Team 4MS, but is he going to be able to successfully do that? Yeah, of course, he is getting spammed on the same part, but just take a look at Diprash, though. Is going to be trying to find any kind of easy shots if he's going to be able to hit on the killer, but doesn't really seem like he's going to be finding it the success. It seems like one of the 4MS member is getting contested in the open ground, but also at the same time is not going to be able to get the knockdown in the process as well.
Yeah, as things have started to intensify, we're still yet to see a few knocks here and there, and well, nothing really happening. Everyone just prioritizing on the zone. Now, Team Cops, they've got they're still yet to get in, so they're not making a lot of noise. But once they do it, I'm telling you, these guys are gonna start popping off.
Of course, they are going to start popping off as we take a look at Ani's also. This, man, it does have so much to prove as well. But FANG overall is doing so good this game. We definitely did not expect FANG to actually be doing so good in the map of Erangel this time, because FANG was definitely one of the teams that was getting eliminated early off bats. But now FANG seems like they are proving their grounds as well with 4MS and Cops. Also, Cops, we definitely know what kind of team they are. They have one of the best players to offer. But as we keep on talking about Cops, Cops seems like there are things for Cops are going to get even more tougher as they are going to be losing on one of the crucial members that they have to offer.
Yeah, I mean, some good rhyming going out there, but look at Genius. He gets that knock, and right now Team Fang, they are taking their players one after the other. They're going down, the numbers reducing as 4MS. They are just pushing in, but instantly being fended off by the players of Team Fang, who are not going to bow out without putting up a fight. It's Lollipop getting those knocks in quick succession. It's going to come down to Mr. Spy and Poison to do the job, and now we've just got our last final 2 teams remaining. Who is gonna win this one out?
Of course, the things are kind of just, equalized, but at the same time, yeah, there are only 2 players remaining from both of the teams. Now, Lollipop getting one of the kill confirmed on the XTCon. It also seems like Crazy is also going down in the process as well. And what just happened? So many fights were just taken down, and so many kills were being traded left and right.
I mean, anyone could have possibly won that, but who is this one getting chickened in this particular match? It's gonna be 4 men strong. I mean, coming in heavy with 10 kills. But look at the damage, 1596. The numbers also backing them up. But, but, Necro, you know what I'm talking about.
Of course, one of the massive eliminations that are going to be happening is going to be hype, right?
And it's not just hype, it's the 12th position where 4MS are going to find themselves out after this game. Had they got, had they been consistent in a previous match or throughout the day, could have been a different case, but ay, ay, ay. Just 2 points,
That's a
just,
massive Yep, of course. If you're going to be losing in just like such close quarters, then yeah, of course, it's going to be such a big disappointment. As Fix is also disappointed, we take a look at TGOD Gyante. This man has been playing so good.
Yes, absolutely. This player has been playing really good, at least in those past couple of games. It started off in Miramar, right? He got those beautiful, beautiful bolt action shots connected, and after that, he's been feeling himself in the thick and thins of it. Now, of course, for men strong, did manage to get that chicken, but at least we know for sure that that was not enough, right? That was not enough. And the top 10 position is where they should have focused, and they're not really getting it. And that kind of breaks my heart. But still, they go home with their heads held high. Let's take a look at the top players of this lobby and see who they are.
Of course, it's going to be Gyante, one of the players that we saw as the MVP. Then it's going to be Poison for 4MS. Of course, 4MS, one of the dominating teams in the end circle. Then TDP, of course, showing themselves up this time as well. And again, one of the members from TDP showing up again is going to be Shacker. Beautiful stuff coming in from all these players because we saw them absolutely dominate the end circle. And they were just the way they were contesting each and every single fight in the end circle was just so fascinating to watch and was just like actually an iconic moment.
Yeah, absolutely. All these teams, when they knew that it was survival on the line, just broke through the shackles that they were wearing and tried to do so much. And yeah, I mean, I'm proud of all these teams. The way they've been playing, that's amazing. This is like we also did say the same thing during the Bangladesh edition. You never loses, you learners. So now you're gonna take down that lesson down for you. But taking a look at the match summary, pretty much standard. Nothing much to talk about over here. Poison, of course, having the highest skills, and for MS, kind of. This is the kind of an aggression. Had they shown a few games earlier, could have done so better. So they've got players like Poison. They've got those experience backing them up. But it's going to be really disappointing. But Maski, my boy, he has been such an incredible player. We've been always talking about Killer, but today, the way he's been playing, the way he's been kind of backing his team up from the back lines, I think I'm really impressed as we take a look at the match ranking.
Of course, take a look at the match ranking for MS, of course, securing that chicken dinner and those big 25 total points. And of course, coming up with 10 kills. And as I was talking about, TDP, of course, one of the teams that was dominating the late circles as well, showing up with those 10 kills. They were farming out certainly as well, but also falling less kind of somewhere on that positioning points. But just take a look at CAG also. Weren't really able to show much up and also too much hype. These teams, one of the expectations that we definitely had was Eiktha were here, and Eiktha didn't really seem like they were able to show themselves up and even hype as well in the same process.
I mean, Team Extreme, Team Ekta, it's completely fine right now. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed about Team Extreme. I guess them taking this early exit is gonna, put them on a back foot, and they will have to work on a lot of things. And we've seen this with the Nepali region. Of course, we will be carrying it forward as we head on to the Oppo moments of the day. So this has been the problem. We've seen a lot of roster changes, a lot of roster shuffles happening right after one tournament. So I've been telling this in the past, and I would be also telling this now. Do not change a lot of teams. Instead of trying to break things down, try fixing it. Instead of breaking your team, trying to go into different roster, thinking that you might do fairly well, try fixing your problems, because all these players you've worked out, you've done such a hard job, and it's in games like PUBG Mobile, it's very difficult to control the situations. So within time, that kind of gets on. But coming back to the last game again, the circle really playing with the hearts of the players.
Of course, it was playing with the heart of the players, but now, I mean, as you said, of course, you should not be changing your teams. Of course, yeah, the synergy that you have built over time will be going as well. Because if you are certainly trying to get situated with new players and try to get familiar, of course, you will have to build that synergy. And of course, we all know how long it takes to even build even a small amount of synergy, and especially competing with that synergy in these kind of big tournaments, you do need a really strong, really strong synergy to actually work around and just put overall strategies on the board.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. You need to mend things rather than break things. So, yeah, that being the mantra for the evening, we, of course, will be setting on towards the overall rankings. As KWIN, they finally made it. Yes, they have done it. Eighth, of course, they were kind of there. Team Cops also having no problem. Team Hype, they've managed to make their way in right from yesterday, right? So, they did not drop off a lot of places today, just sticking on towards the seventh position. But the next two slots is what I'm really looking out for.
Of course, me too. What is going to be on the other side of the page is going to be the interesting thing to see, and it's going to be TDP,
Wow.
and it's going to be H20. What were your expectations over here?
TDP making it in the last match. I mean, had they not got those 10 kills, it was a goner. It was
Yeah,
a goner. But
true. It was actually
not
Goner.
yeah, but nothing taken away from FANG. Look at them. Just 3 points shy. Just three
So
points shy.
that is actually so unfortunate. And you were talking about for MS as well. Yeah, 4MS is actually a little bit far behind as well. I mean, of course, yeah, they do need one more game to actually go in their favor to get there. But unfortunately, that was the last game that is happening today.
Yeah, I mean that's the end of the road for the teams, from 11th to the rest, because in the regional final, ladies and gentlemen, we will be having PWP Esports Elementary, Giant Mara, PN Crew, High Voltage, and Ruthless Aggressive Warriors. Now, Ruthless Aggressive Warriors, this is a team that has been, few players are from, of course, the coveted, the well-renowned Salty Squad. But I really want to see, if they kind of live up to their name during during the regional finals, because then the matches will be limited. However, the only good thing, the brightest spot, is that the teams will be same. So you can come with a strategy, and you do not really have to be so much into the thoughts as to deal with teams from different groups. Now you can have
Hmm.
a good game plan. I mean, I'm coming into Erangel. I know this team drops here. I know this team drops there. I need to make my path like this. My timing has to be as such. So the job is fairly easier. But at the same time, the X factor that we talk about, Necro, is of course definitely going to be these six new teams that are going to be chiming in.
Of course, the X Factor, and of course, I mean, these teams have to be the best that they have to offer, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see how these 10 teams are going to be capitalizing on those 6 teams as well, because these teams have never played against each other, and of course, yeah, maybe in the past they have played against each other sometime, but also at the same time, going up against each other, and especially you are getting those slots, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they're going to be capitalizing on those new strategies coming up as well in the finals.
Yeah, 100%. And now we've been seeing a lot of individual players. We've been seeing a lot of players just going ham with the kind of a gameplay that they put on the table. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the kill leaders so far, and it's going to be Snipe. And Malik, of course, very close, and Hungry Box, but it's the man killer. I think we've been kind of missing him out for quite some time, and finally, he makes his entry into fourth spot.
Of course, he is going to be making his entry in the 4th spot finally. And of course, yeah, all these players are one of the best players that all these teams have to offer. And all these teams are also moving inside the finals as well. Now it's going to be the best of the best fighting against each other in the finals. It's going to be such an interesting thing to watch, and such a, just overall iconic moment is coming through in the future as well.
Yes, a lot of things might happen because I'm really getting stoked up already. Because from what we have seen, and we did see that transition, right? Initially, Nepal region starting off slow, focusing on those technical plays, and then in the last day, it was carnage everywhere. I mean, I'm not talking about Team Carnage, but I'm talking about the way they have been playing. All these teams. This time, you did see the difference, right? I was talking about. Had these teams done the same thing, had these teams gone in for those early game pushes, today might have been a completely different case. I mean, a lot of teams were getting that much room to play around. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally done with the group stages. And we will, of course, be taking your leave as we come in after 2 days when we start off with the regional finals. So till then, take care, bye bye, and have a good
Let's get it.